Welcome to the Moon Men podcast.
Does the moon actually possess such strange powers?
Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy night.
Moonlight is thought to transform some people into strange creatures to drive others mad.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're certainly glad to be here tonight.
We choose to go to the moon.
5, 4,
We choose to go to the moon.
2, 1, 0.
You know that Joe Rogan uses that rule?
What?
The fist away.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was talking to the creators of ChatGPT, and one of the guys was this far. And he's like, talk like a fist away, and the guy did the fist.
Hey, look at that. I didn't know he did that.
Yeah.
I just found that our measurements work about... For me, it's about 4 fingers, because I can talk normal, but then I start going down.
Mm-hmm.
For you always have like the same level, even when you're talking low. So it works better for you if you're talking fist away. You just talk loud.
I know, I talk loud. It fucking
You
sucks.
look great in the lighting. I just look like the little dark thing in the corner.
Want to
again.
switch?
Nah, it's fine. It's cool. All right. We can't start off jumping straight into the conspiracy.
I know.
I need to work my way to
I was
it.
I was gonna tell you about my mom's ghost experience today.
Okay, go ahead. Give me her ghost experience.
So she was doing her makeup, and
Wait, this happened today?
yeah, this morning.
Okay.
And she went over to one of her. You saw the mirror that was hanging on the wall
On the
in front of my
wall.
niece's play.
Oh,
play
yeah, right
thing?
here on the right. when
Yeah,
you walk in.
yeah.
Yeah.
So she was doing her makeup right there, and then she went to the window to look at the hand mirror. Like she has a little hand mirror, and she was like plucking her mustache or whatever she was doing.
You don't have to expose her like that. I think I'll bleep that out. You don't need to tell them.
Whatever.
that.
When she turned back around, one of her drawers opened.
Really?
Yeah. And it's like, what the fuck? So she went to go get me, and after she told me, she's like, all right, I'm going to work. So she left me alone.
After she told you there was a
After she
ghost
told
in
me
the
that. So
house?
I was on guard. I've been on guard.
Are you still on guard?
No, I forgot about it.
Do you want to go into ghost shit a little bit?
We can.
Are you going to be on guard?
I am.
On guard?
I am.
Is that what it's for? On guard? Because you're on guard, you're ready to like attack
Yeah,
people?
I think that's what it means.
Oh. Well, they always say on guard.
No, I thought they say something else.
What do they say?
I don't know, like a Latin word, angar.
Angar? Angar?
What's that? What's it called? Fencing?
Fencing, yeah. No, don't look it up. You're going to get distracted. We're in the middle of opening up the show here.
Well, aren't you gonna say a ghost story?
Did I tell my mom's ghost story on here?
Maybe. What was it?
So my mom had a ghost story. I don't know. I don't think I told this because I remember asking her about it, and then I was going to put in her audio clip of her talking about it because I recorded it. But she had a ghost experience that she can't explain, right? So as kids, we would always play like under the beds. I think a lot of kids did that.
You said it.
Where she looked under the bed and she
And-
saw a kid
Yeah.
underneath there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that
But-
just died in the water.
Well, no, say it for just in case no one.
Well, unless in case they haven't heard it.
Yeah.
So, one night she had heard all of us like playing when we were supposed to be asleep, and so she went to go check our rooms, and she said that she saw like feet sticking out of the bed, and she heard laughing. So immediately she went and she looked underneath the bed, and she saw a kid underneath the bed all the way in the corner like this, staring at her. But she didn't recognize the kid. Like, it was a random fucking kid. And she said she got freaked out, so she just pretended that she didn't see it, and she kept looking like this. And then she got up, and she ran to her room, and she went to go wake up my dad. And then they went, they checked, and we were both obviously asleep, and there was no kid underneath the bed. And they never saw that kid again.
Was that this house?
That was at the other house.
Oh, okay.
That was the same house that I saw the woman walking in the hallway.
Yeah.
Or the shadow. I say it's a woman because it's easier for people to picture, but in all actuality, I just saw a shadow walking. And then, I saw a figure standing by the door.
I remember you told me there's one guy outside of your house holding a shovel.
No, he wasn't holding a shovel.
That's what you told Mike. That was in high school.
When? What was the story I said?
The whole story was that you were playing GTA with your brother, and it was at that old house, and you heard someone like dragging something on the rocks, and you and your dad went out around the house, and then you went around the house, went on the side of the house, and then at the end of the driveway, there's a guy holding a shovel staring at you, both of you.
I don't remember that. Maybe it happened. I think that house is haunted.
Or maybe you're bullshitting Mike.
Probably bullshitting Mike, because I don't remember that.
Oh.
But I think that house is definitely haunted because of where it's located. Because there's a cemetery like less than a mile away from that house.
There is?
Yeah, by the church right there. There's a cemetery next to the church.
Oh, you're talking about San Miguel?
No, San Javier.
Oh, yeah, San Javier.
It's less than a mile away from the house.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought San Javier was like further that way.
No, you go, I forgot the street, but you get on Mission and you go down to San Javier. But I went on Google Maps and I looked, and it was like, well, I shouldn't say less than a mile. It was like 1.2 miles away from the house.
Also, it's a mile away.
But it's like, that's close, you know, that's your backyard. You know, you could walk a mile. Like, I could walk to the cemetery from that house. It's be a pain in the ass of a walk, but I could walk there, you know? We saw a lot of weird shit over there.
How about when you were there with your ex-wife?
No, but ironically enough, she started to see a lot of little things, and she says she felt weird in that house. Because when we were there and we were living there, she said that after we moved out, we moved into her parents' house, she said that she didn't like being alone in the house because she felt weird, and she would hear things, but she always like discredited it. She was like, oh yeah, that's this, that's that, you know, but she would hear like little kids laughing in the middle of the day. And she's like, oh, obviously there's some kids in the next door house or whatever, right? But there would be nobody in the other house. Like, the driveway would be empty, and like the family would be coming home later that day or something like that. She never looked too deep into it, but like, if you're a superstitious person and you believe in that stuff already, it's easy to see it being like a haunted house. But then again, we've also had a bunch of experiences at the house we're at now, so maybe it's just somebody in the family.
Probably somebody in the family.
I mean, my mom did witness people play the Ouija board, even if she never partook. So, like, being in the same room, you know?
Yeah, but I don't think that counts.
I don't know. I feel like it
because
does.
If that's the case, then nobody's going to be playing Ouija boards on YouTube videos and putting on movies and shit.
What do you mean?
So, like, if she was just watching them play the Ouija board and something happened to her, then why would YouTubers film themselves playing the Ouija board and posting on the internet so millions of people could watch it?
Well, I mean, YouTubers already don't believe in it, but there are people who will never... Like, will you play a Ouija board?
Fuck no.
Would you play it for a video?
Fuck no.
Would you be in the room with somebody who's playing it?
Maybe.
I wouldn't.
No?
No, I wouldn't. I don't want to go anywhere near those things.
Well, it's like I said, it's the same thing as if you're watching a video and a movie about it. You're just...
But I know, I get. Okay, now I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
why would they do that if they could be impacted by the video? But I don't think that's a thing. I don't think the ghosts can transfer over the digital world.
You never know.
I don't think it's a thing. I didn't say I know it's a thing, but like, that doesn't seem realistic. I feel like ghosts are like in their own little world, you know? Like, they're gonna fuck with whoever's in their space.
I guess whoever is poking them with the stick.
Unless it's this entity like Robert the Doll, who supposedly will bring harm onto the people who even like mention him in a wrong way, or take pictures of him or something like that. Or if you like comment on a picture of him, it could bring bad luck, stuff like that.
Yeah. I remember Post Malone touched, what was it? The box?
The box?
I think it was Pandora's box. It was a box. So he went to Zach Bagans' museum. Post Malone, Zach, like the whole Ghost Adventures crew. They went to go ghost hunt the Zach's museum. And I can't remember if it was the Annabelle doll, if it was Pandora's box. He touched something.
The box. I know. What the fuck are those boxes called? A Leica box or something like that?
It was a box. Whatever the case. Zach was touching the box and Post was touching him. So after that, Posty got cursed because he was touching Zach while Zach was touching the box. He almost died in a play accident. His house got robbed.
Damn, really?
There's a couple things that happened to him, but he's like, it's all because of that box.
Yeah, cursed objects are kind of serious.
Yeah.
So, like, I could see it being a situation where, like, if you're there, you're messing with it.
Yeah, I guess. But, like, it's a museum, so people tour around the box, but they don't touch the box.
Well,
So-
that's probably one of the rules is, like, don't touch the box.
Oh.
Just like with Annabelle, you don't open the case, the display, the whatever.
I think it was Annabelle, because the Annabelle doll was in a box, and I think they were touching Annabelle's box.
No, I don't think Annabelle will, like, curse you for touching the box because people hold the doll. Or people have held the doll and stuff, but it's like if you're bringing the doll into your possession,
Oh, okay.
that's when it, like, will affect you. You know?
Oh, okay.
It's just an evil spirit. I don't know what spirit's trapped in that doll, but it's an evil spirit.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Have you had any recent ghost encounters?
No, not me. Well, maybe I have, but I just kind of discredit it. I'm on like, oh, okay, it's the house settling. Oh, it's my neighbor's door.
I feel like this house probably has something going on, but because you're, like, always so scared of it, you just don't even think
This
about
house
it.
isn't that old.
It's not about it being old. It could be a brand new building
That's
and then
true.
still have.
That's true. One of my not fears, but one of my worries for the future is me getting a house, me getting my dream house and it being haunted.
I would just deal with it. I don't know. It kind of just depends on the haunt.
No, I
Because technically, I could say I live in a haunted house right now with the amount of shit that we've seen.
right.
You know, especially what my little brother has seen.
I don't want to know that.
Didn't I tell you what he saw? My little brother,
Yeah.
little brother.
Yeah. Tiny one.
Yeah, he is in the room that I used to have in high
Oh
school.
wait, I think yeah, but continue. Yeah.
He's in the room that I used to have in high school, and that's the room that I heard, like, the door, or I saw the door shaking, and somebody was trying to get into my room, and when I opened the door, there was nobody there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's right next to my brother's room, well, what used to be my brother's room, where he said that he heard somebody, like, banging on the door. And then he went to go check, and there was nobody there. And that's the room where he said he woke up and he saw somebody sitting in his chair, and then he went back to sleep.
Mm.
And so now my little brother is in that room, right? And he said that for a while he was going to bed every night, and he was hearing these, like, whispers coming from the closet, right? Kind of like inviting him to come to the closet. I don't know if he saw nothing because he didn't tell me. He told my parents, and they told me secondhand. And they didn't get all the details out of him, and he didn't want to keep talking about it. But apparently he was, like, hearing these, like, whispers coming from the closet and things, like, talking to him while he was going to sleep. And he said that he would have these nightmares. And so because of that, he stopped sleeping in the room for a long time. And then when he did start sleeping in the room again, he had to get, like, a white noise machine. But I guess it picked back up at some point because he stopped sleeping in that room again.
Recently?
And now, like, over the course of, like, 6 months ago.
Oh, okay.
And he still currently isn't sleeping in that room.
Where the fuck does he sleep?
Sometimes he sleeps in the living room, and then sometimes he sleeps with my parents. It just kind of switches. But he doesn't like to sleep in that room. And it's weird is that now my sister is in the room that my brother used to have, where he saw the shadow sitting in his chair.
So she's in your room.
My
Oh no,
little-
she's in Seats' room.
Yeah, my sister's in Seat's room, and my little brother's in my room.
Okay.
We're not in those rooms anymore. And neither of them sleep in their own room. And she hasn't said why she doesn't sleep in her room. But I'm willing to bet she probably saw something that, like, my brother saw, but he was just like, oh, whatever, and went back to sleep.
You guys need to get that house blessed.
I mean, we also hear, like, things running down the stairs all the time.
You know, one of the first things you told me about your house is that, yeah, it's haunted and everything. And you're like, we usually see a little girl in this closet, and it's a closet underneath the stairs.
I was probably bullshitting you because we've never seen a little girl.
No,
there.
you were bullshitting me because Mike and I went into that closet, and then we went all the way to the back, and then he fucking closed the door and locked us in. And him and I were freaking the fuck out.
Mike's a goober. He
I
gets
think it was
scared over
Mike. It
everything.
was either Mike or like Alfred or Tyler.
Alfred wouldn't get scared. That was probably Mike.
Yeah.
Because Mike scares easy, like you, so you guys probably just freaked each other out.
Yeah.
We haven't seen any like little girls. A lot of it's just been shadows and noises. And then semi-recently, we saw the closet door in the hallway open all by itself. And there have been a couple instances where we like leave a room and then we come back and it looks a little bit different. And then we'll be like, oh, it's the dogs or it's the cats or something.
Mm-hmm.
But there's one that caught me where I was like, I had closed all of the doors on like the cabinets. And then I went outside and I came back and 2 of them were open. And I thought it was my siblings. And none of them were downstairs. And all the ones that I suspected were asleep at the time.
You should check the cameras.
We don't have cameras in there.
You don't have cameras in the kitchen?
Mm-mm. We have cameras to all the entries and exits, but none in the actual like house.
Well, the back door's right there.
Yeah, but it's on the outside and it's like showing the back door.
Oh, okay, I see.
So we just have it so that we could see who's going in and who's leaving, but we don't have it on the inside so that we have some sense of privacy, you know.
You guys should, at least in the living room.
It's not that big of a deal. I mean, we have so many people there that it's like, it's not that scary. It's only really scary if you think about it too much or you're by yourself.
Right.
But like, all of us just kind of ignore it.
Every time I go to your house, I never feel like scared.
Yeah, it's not like an overwhelming presence where you're like, this house is haunted.
Like, it just flies over my head, and unless we talk about it.
If anything, it's more just like, we just see little things and we're like, oh, hey, that was a ghost. And then we go back.
But I feel like that's constantly. It does. I feel like it's just, they're just passing through.
Maybe they could all be different ghosts and they're just stopping by.
Yeah, they're just passing through and then on their way. Like, they're traveling somewhere. And they're making a pit stop to your house.
If anything, I think that could be the case because, like, my mom always said she saw activity whenever the whole family was together, and it was always like related to like little kids. So, like, for an example, we would all be in the living room talking and watching a movie or something, and then she would, take a picture, and then in the background she would see like a little kid, and she would look at the picture, and there's no kid in the picture. Or she would hear like a little girl giggling, and then she would look around and there's no little girl. Shit like that. So if anything, I could see it being the case where it's like there are like little kids who are passing on and then they see a family all like together and they stop by.
Yeah.
Which is cool because then we're getting like, temporary like little guests.
Yeah, but like you've heard that saying that if you hear kids, they're not actually kids.
No, I haven't.
You've never heard that?
No.
So if you hear like kids playing around or giggling, or if you even see a kid that's not supposed to be there, it's most likely a demon just manipulating itself to look like something innocent.
That's pretty creepy because 90% of all the things we've ever seen have all been kids.
Yeah. And they could just be kids, but I've heard that. So
it's also weird to me to think that the like kids who passed on early would become ghosts, because I feel like if anything, they would just get sent straight to wherever, like their souls would just pass on.
Well, no, I guess.
Like, why would a kid need to haunt?
Maybe it's lost.
Like, well, yeah, maybe, but like.
That's the crazy thing about the supernatural. We don't know until
I don't know. It just feels weird to me. That's what like.
It's starting to make sense to you. Like, oh, okay, maybe.
Well, I would assume that all kids, just like, okay, let's just put God into the equation, right? For this example,
right?
I would assume that God's just like, no kid is gonna have to be a ghost or live in purgatory or whatever the fuck ghosts are, if ghosts are even real, and He would just send them to heaven or whatever, right? I could see that being a thing because it just feels weird to me for a kid who died young. Obviously, something tragic happened in their life to now have to live as a ghost,
Well, yeah.
So it would make more sense that since we don't know that as mortals or living people or whatever the fuck, that demons would use the innocence to like prey on us, and we think it's a little kid. Like in Annabelle, they thought it was a little girl.
Mm-hmm.
They thought it was their dead daughter. They invited it to stay, and it was a demon.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch Annabelle?
I've seen the first one, and then I've seen the Red Door. Is that Annabelle?
No.
Oh, no, that's Insidious. That's
Yeah,
Insidious.
yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah, yeah.
Insidious.
Have you ever seen Annabelle Creation?
No.
Do you
No.
want to watch it?
Want to watch it?
Yeah.
No. You know my rule about that, about those type of movies.
I know, but like out of all of the Conjuring series, the Conjuring franchise, to me, the scariest movie above all of them is Annabelle Creation. Then it's probably the Conjuring or Annabelle as second place, and then it's like the Conjuring 2, and then they're all shit after that.
The first two Conjuring movies, they were scary. And
The
then,
Conjuring 2 is all right.
and then
I
Insidious
just
2.
felt-
Not Insidious number 2, the first movie, Insidious.
No, Insidious 2 is way scarier. The first one wasn't that scary.
I never seen Insidious 2. But
You want to watch it?
What?
You want to watch it?
No.
That one's not really about demons. That's more about the afterlife.
No, it's okay.
Come on, let's watch it
No, it's okay.
together
No.
tonight.
No.
It'll be great.
No.
It'll be fun.
Mm-mm.
I don't think I've ever watched a real scary movie with you because we watched the Blair Witch Project with Alfred. But aside from that,
No, we've seen multiple scary movies, but they weren't scary.
I want to watch a scary movie with you.
I don't think those really exist.
I want to watch Insidious Part 2 with you. Like on a big screen in a dark room, and we have to sit apart from each other. So I could just hear you go, freak out the whole fucking time.
No, I'm not like that. I'm not like in.
Or are you one of those like silent scares where you're like this?
Yeah, well, I'll jump like, oh shit, but like I wouldn't exaggerate. You know what I mean?
No.
So like, you know how there's people who exaggerate who when they get scared during movies. I'm more like, oh shit.
Well, I'm a bit of both. Like there are times where I'm like, oh shit, and I like cover my face.
Mm-hmm.
But then there are times where I'm like, oh fuck, like that scared me.
No, scary movies don't really grasp me that much.
Let's watch one. Come on,
No.
please. Let's watch The Exorcist.
Oh, my niece recently watched The Exorcist and she fucking loves that movie.
What?
She tries to do the 360 the 360 spin.
Yeah.
And she's like obsessed with that movie now.
What the fuck is wrong with her?
I don't know. She used to not obsessed, but she used to like Michael Myers.
That I guess is a little bit more reasonable, but The Exorcist still freaks me out. I watched it once. I'll never watch it again.
You know they made a second one?
They made 3.
No, like recently.
The one with the 2 girls?
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard that one was ass.
Yeah.
But that original one, based off of the original novel, I watched it once. And I watched the real version. I watched the uncut director's extended version or some shit like that, right? Like the full movie that they shot. Freaked me out, man. I watched it on New Year's of 2018, right? At night. In the middle of the night.
So you started your New Year watching that movie? Excuse me.
Yeah, me and my sister, I remember I rented it from the People's Choice. And then I was like, fuck it, I'm going to do it.
Wait.
I'm going to do it.
Let's take a moment of silence.
Moment of silence for the People's Choice.
I still have their card.
Me too.
Yeah.
I want to frame it.
Me too.
Because that place, man, you had to be there. That was a moment in history.
I guess there's one here in Tucson that was 2 stories.
Really?
I just
At
don't know
one point?
where it was.
Had to be like downtown or like Speedway.
Maybe. There's another movie I wanted to.
Hey, I was in the middle of a story.
Oh, I didn't know you were done.
No, I wasn't. You cut me off so we could have a moment of silence.
Oh, sorry. Continue.
So I rented it. I forgot why I rented it.
To
But I
watch the
remember,
movie. Duh.
but I don't remember the reasoning. I don't know what incentivized me to buy it. So I rented it, and I told my sister because she was scared of it too, and I was like, "Hey, let's watch this." And so for whatever reason, on New Year's Eve, that's when we decided to watch it. And so we didn't start the movie until 10 o'clock.
We've been recording for 34 minutes.
Eddie, we had used the screen for like 20 minutes in the last episode.
What?
We're at like 14 minutes, I think. Why are you checking the time?
No, it says 34 right there.
Why are you checking the time?
Because I feel like we've been talking about this for a minute.
I don't think we have.
No?
No. Let the conversation flow, man. It's
Yeah,
Friday. We're
yeah.
enjoying the vibes.
Yeah. We have the whole weekend off. Continue your story.
Bitch, man.
Cunt.
So, I said, hey, we're going to watch it. We didn't start the movie until like 10 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
We weren't trying to like finish right on New Year's or anything. We just started it late. I think we might have even started it later. And then we finished the movie. And I was fucking like, I was broken. Like I couldn't even be alone in a room in the dark. And so I turned on the lights and I just started watching videos all fucking night. And then we had to go, me and my mom had to go pick up my brother from a New Year's party because he got all fucked up.
Right.
And we picked him up. And I was like, what'd you do for New Year's? And he was like, oh, bro, it started snowing. So me and my homies, we got a bunch of snow together and we were making snowmans. And we had a snowball fight outside. It was fucking lit. I was like, oh, that's crazy. He's like, what'd you do? I was like, I just ruined myself. I was like, my whole New Year is fucked. Fucking Doug, man. I'm pretty sure that's going to pick up.
It most likely is.
So what were you saying? There's a movie or something?
No, I don't remember it snowing on New Year's of 2018.
It was, yeah, it did.
It did?
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
It didn't snow like a crazy amount, but it did snow. That was that year. Because 2019 was the year that we started getting snow in like March.
Yeah, I remember that.
So it was like already in the air. But it snowed apparently enough for them to have a snowball fight for a few minutes.
Mm.
It was fucking cold at that year. And they say global warming's taking over.
Fuck them.
Fuck them. You know what I hate too? I keep seeing electric cars everywhere. And they look cool and everything, but like, I hate how people are like, oh yeah, electric cars, we're going to save the planet, blah, 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 because they're actually like making the planet even worse with all the power plants that they're going to have to build to power the electric cars and all the fuel that they're going to have to burn and use to fucking power the electricity that they need for these cars.
You know, in California, they're banning all gas-powered cars by 2035.
I heard that. Yeah, my coworker was telling me about that today.
And there's a whole theory saying that the government's going to force people to have electric cars because, let's say you don't pay your car insurance or something, right? Boom, they'll shut off your car. You can't use your car anymore.
You know, that's funny because I was telling him when he told me about that, I was like, they're trying to do that so they could keep track of us.
Or that too.
Because if it's electric, it's connected to the internet at all times.
Yeah, but like we already have phones, so what's the whole point?
But you know what I mean? Like let's say you're a criminal, you're trying to run from the government. You chuck your phone or something, or you steal somebody's car.
Yeah.
They'll be able to track it. Which in one sense is cool, but in another sense, like they'll always know where you're at. I feel like we're moving to a weird future.
We're moving to a dystopian future.
Very dystopian future. How the fuck did we get on electric cars? Didn't we start off with ghosts?
We did.
What the fuck?
How did we?
How do we transition to this?
Because you're like, you know what grinds my gears? Or
No, but I didn't just throw it out there. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Ghosts are real.
You.
Would you ever fuck a demon?
No. Let me say my point before
My bad.
I always wanted to watch Sinister.
Sinister's a good one. That
I feel like I'll really get scared with that one.
You will. Well, I don't know because I recently rewatched it and I showed it to somebody like a couple months back. And I think it's definitely it's at its most scary when you watch it by yourself and when you watch it for the first time. And it's more disturbing than like terrifying, you know? So you're not going to be going to sleep like, oh my God, is it going to come get me? Like demons are here, blah, blah, blah. It's definitely more like a mythical creature type of thing, but it's fucking scary.
As a kid, I used to be freaked out by A Haunting in Connecticut.
I've never seen that.
Let me look up the plot because I'm getting that movie and Amityville. How do you say Amityville?
Amityville?
How do you say?
Amityville.
Amityville. Whatever.
Amityville.
Whatever.
You're actually making Amityville.
Amityville.
Amityville. Why are you adding extra syllables? Amityville. Don't try. Just
AV.
Just say AV.
No, we're gonna get it down. One more time.
Amityville.
Amityville. Close enough.
Oh, that was a little better. Say it again.
No, I can't.
Amityville is where the guy
Kills his whole family, huh?
Kills his whole family, and then a family goes and buys the property, and then they start seeing like pig demons at the house, and then everybody starts to act weird. They all experience different things. What's the haunting in Connecticut?
Let me look up the cast because I feel like
fucking Connecticut. I hate Connecticut.
No, I Ryan Gosling comes out in that one, right?
Amityville.
Yeah. Or no, Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, I don't know why. I knew who you were talking about. I knew which Ryan.
Should I put the trailer up there?
No.
I
don't want to have to edit that in.
So
I've been getting lazy with my
It's on
edits.
Netflix.
It is?
Yeah. I'll read the
description.
The synopsis. When their son Matt receives a diagnosis of cancer, Sarah and Peter Campbell move to Connecticut to be closer to his doctors. At first, all is well, but then Matt becomes increasingly disturbed by what appears to be paranormal activity. Sarah turns to a priest for help, and the ghosts are seemingly banished, but Matt's condition takes a sudden and unexplained turn for the worse, and the lives of Sarah and the rest of her family are endangered. I remember it being scary.
Sounds interesting.
It has a 17% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh. Well, it does. To be fair, though, most things are scary when you're a kid.
Yeah.
Like, fuck. The Grinch, the live action version of the Grinch.
That used to scare you?
That scared me. But I saw it when it came out in theaters, and I was like, 3 years old when it came out? And we were right in the front row, and so this weird-ass Grinch dude is all big on the screen, and I just remember getting scared.
You know, I'm not going to give you that much shit, because I remember, I think I've said it on the podcast, but there was this spirit week at school. It was like Halloween week or something like that. And the day was Halloween, and Ronald McDonald was going to go visit our classroom. I purposely missed that day of school because I was so scared of clowns.
I don't know why you were scared of clowns.
I don't know why you're scared of the fucking Grinch.
I said why I was scared of the Grinch. Why were you scared of clowns?
I don't know.
What was it about them that freaked you out?
I don't know. I think it was also tied to like the Michael Myers fear.
What does Michael Myers have to do with clowns? And you like Michael Myers.
As a kid, I was terrified of him.
That makes no sense.
The music, the way he walked. The mask.
I really wish I could have seen like little Eddie. I could have freaked you out so much. As a kid, I used to love scaring other kids.
But other kids wouldn't scare me. It'll be like older kids or old adults that would scare me.
No, but like if I found out what your fears were as a kid, I would have gone out of my way. I mean, I tried it in fucking high school when I would send you clown pictures on Snapchat.
Oh yeah.
You would be like, yeah, I'm scared of clowns, and you're like, I can't even look at pictures. And so then on Snapchat, I would send you a snap, and you would open it, it'd be a clown. And then on like PlayStation parties, you'd be all, fuck you, Devin.
Do you hear someone walking around out there?
I did.
You did,
out there, right?
No, out there.
Out there?
Yeah.
No.
Like if there's a bare foot like smacking on the floor. You didn't hear that?
No. You want to go investigate?
Fuck it.
We'll be right back.
What were we talking about? Oh yeah, fears, right?
Fears, yeah. You had a fear of clowns. And I would send you clown pictures, and then you wouldn't.
That was about to fall.
Fucking mic's all fucked up.
But what was my last point?
I don't know. You heard the footsteps. And then we went to investigate. There's nothing there, or we would have stopped this episode short or something.
We would have worked through it.
I'd be down, but would you?
Just another day in the office.
Is that why you're trying to go get food after this? Fucking.
No, I was just hungry.
Can you get me?
No.
Fuck, man. Well, then no, I can't. I gotta go do some work or paperwork or I gotta go do things this weekend, Eddie. Okay, I don't gotta explain myself to you.
You don't have to. I'm not
Bastard.
asking you to.
Well, yeah, but now I kind of got it stuck in my head. Okay, technically I could just pay for myself, but I'm trying not to spend any unnecessary money, which is why I'm happy my coworker took me out to eat today.
Wait. Tomorrow we're going to go eat before we go to the club.
Where are we gonna go eat?
Elliot's.
Fuck's Elliot's.
It's a place in downtown.
What is it?
It's just a restaurant.
No, what do they serve there?
Burgers, wings.
I don't know. I'll get something cheap.
Soups.
Is that where we're meeting?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just don't know what time. I think I'm gonna call Alex or something and ask him. I'm assuming like 7. It only makes sense if it's 7.
No.
Why not?
It's not. It's not gonna be 7, Eddie.
Yeah, it has to be 7.
No.
Because think about it. We have to be at the club by 10.
Uh-huh.
If we eat at 7, that gives us enough time for the food to settle down.
Yeah. It's not gonna be 7.
It's gonna be 7.
No, it's not.
It's gonna be 7.
You know what time they're gonna want to meet?
What time?
9:30.
No, because we already have it set that they want to eat.
Mm-hmm. If it's 7, that means you have to stay even longer than you were planning.
No, it's 6 hours.
What?
You're like, oh yeah, we're gonna be there for 6 hours.
Yeah, but you were saying I'm only staying for 2. And this is gonna come out afterwards,
Yeah.
so they can. Yeah, I'm only gonna stay.
Yeah,
for 2.
but in my mind, I'm like from 10 to 12. That's 2 hours. From 7 to 9, that's fine because we're eating and
they're gonna want a pregame
No,
or
they're not.
bar hop.
No, they're not.
We're gonna be downtown.
Yeah, but
You think they're just gonna want to stay at Elliot's for like 4 hours and then like, oh yeah, we're gonna go.
well, no, it's gonna be more like 2.5 hours.
They're not gonna be there that long.
You
They're
wanna
gonna
bet?
want to. I'm willing to bet anything
Well,
that they're gonna fucking.
what do you
they're
wanna
gonna
bet?
want a pregame.
Okay. Pregame where?
Anywhere. They're gonna want to go bar hopping, get some fucking shots,
No,
see the clubs, and then we're gonna go to
no.
that one club that we're going to.
All the clubs open at 10.
No, they open a little sooner than that.
Okay.
They get popping at 10.
The Zen opens at 10.
Is that why we're gonna be there at 10? It's only open for 2 hours.
It's only open for 4 hours.
4 hours? That's weird.
Yeah, and it's only Sunday or Friday through Sunday, I think.
We're gonna get fucked up. Are you gonna get fucked up?
Devin, you're not even spending. The only thing you're gonna spend on is a fucking door fee, and
Yeah,
they're gonna get 2
probably.
little bottles like that. So what makes you think you're gonna get fucked up?
I don't know. BYOB.
You can't put drinks in there.
I'm not gonna bring it into the club,
Oh,
but I could bring my own beer for. I don't know. We're just gonna see. It's just if anything, I won't even get fucked up, and then we'll just enjoy the night.
Mm.
Alex told me to go dressed as a fuckboy, so that's what we're doing. We're gonna enjoy the night, and we're gonna have fun with it. Harry Potter status, you know.
it's gonna be a long night.
I'm gonna wear my magical chain.
That you're probably gonna lose that night.
No, I'm not. If I lose it, I'm gonna be fucking pissed.
You've been in there.
Zenrob?
Yeah,
No, I haven't.
with Boric.
Mm-mm.
Mhm.
Mm-mm.
Mhm.
Mm-mm.
Mhm.
We've never had to pay a door fee for any club that we went into.
Really?
Yeah, we didn't go to Zenrock. I didn't even know where it was.
Oh, Zenrock's by not the Hut. What's that other one called? That's in the alleyway.
Highwire?
Highwire. Yeah.
It's by there?
Yeah.
Well, I
it's
was
like
thinking
it's
of
like
different-
right across from it.
I was thinking of a completely different club.
I think it's Highwire. But yeah, it's gonna be a long night.
Everybody goes to Highwire. It's like the spot.
Everyone goes to the Hut and Highwire.
They all fucking take pictures in front of that grassy fucking
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Pisses me off every time I see one of those. I'm like, go to another spot. Go to a fucking dive bar. Like, you guys swear that the fucking Highwire is the spot. It sucks. Clubbing sucks. I hate clubbing.
You need to go clubbing in Phoenix.
No, even in Phoenix, it sucks.
Have you been clubbing in Phoenix?
Talk to the people who live there.
Yeah, but you've never experienced it. If I tell you,
The people that live
hold on,
here
hold
say
on.
that clubbing here is fucking fun.
hold on, Devin, if I tell you skydiving fucking sucks, you'll be like, all right. But then Alex tells you, Devin, skydiving's fun. Who are you going to listen to? At that point, you have to go up for your own
Well, no,
transgression.
in that scenario, I'm going to listen to him just because you hate everything.
No,
It'd
but-
be different if you were like, Devin, it's fun. And
Oh,
Alex said,
it's
it
not
sucks.
fun.
I'd be like, something's weird here. He doesn't like anything. Let me try this out. I'll never go skydiving. Fuck that.
Really?
Yeah, fuck that. I have a fear of heights, Eddie. What makes you think I want to?
That's true. I thought you had a fear of stairs, but
I had a fear of those stairs because they didn't, there's no wall. No, fucking heights, man. I can't do it.
So
that's why in fucking Vegas, I was so defeated because there was all heights everywhere. You don't think it's that high. But like because we were walking the strip and to get from, in Tucson, you just you walk across the street. They don't do that in Vegas. There's no stopwalks like that. So they have these big fucking staircases that are like 2 stories high in the sky, and there's fucking glass on each side so that you can look down over the fucking edge and see the cars. So you're 2 stories high in the sky, no fucking dome or anything on top. All these fucking people drunk walking down the middle, and then you're just there, me all fucking scared, getting shoved by everybody. Fuck no. Hate Vegas because of that shit. And because I fell in love with the stripper.
How about I pay for you?
What?
How about if you and I go skydiving, I pay for all your meals for 3 months?
No.
No?
No.
No?
No. Actually, no. I mean, maybe. With that stupid scenario, that's just a financial investment.
Okay, what if...
I'll be like, Eddie, send me $20. I'm going to get some za.
What if you have the opportunity to go travel space? Phew, there you go. Are you shitting bricks?
Oh, fuck yeah.
But will you do it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know space would be the most scariest thing I'd ever experience in my life, but I do it. I mean, like, I had to experience heights to realize I was scared of them.
That's true.
So I would experience space, but then I might come back and be all, fuck that, never going back. We're changing the podcast title, not doing this shit anymore.
What's one thing you would not do? No money, nothing sexual, but like seriously.
I like how you had to throw that in
because I
there.
knew you were gonna be like getting a dick in the ass. I knew you were gonna say that.
I mean,
like
no.
What's one realistic thing?
Do you have something in mind? Really? You don't have nothing in mind?
No, well, I was gonna be like, oh yeah, just being in a space rocket, but I feel like I could probably do that.
A space rocket.
Yeah. What? What?
Fuck's a space rocket?
It's a rocket that go to space.
It's like saying, yeah, I would never get in a sky plane or a sea boat. So one thing you would never do. I would never get on a sea boat. Huh?
Sea boats are a thing.
But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would never get in a sky plane.
Oh,
I would never get in a road car.
One thing I wouldn't do is
space rocket.
One thing I for sure would never do is explore the ocean.
I'm conflicted because I hate the ocean. I have a fear of the ocean, especially like the deep ocean. But there's something about the East Coast and New England specifically that is so alluring to me. And like I would want to experience that. But like if somebody was like, hey, we're going to send you in a submarine 20,000 feet below the sea level, I'd say go fuck yourself.
I don't want to end up like Ocean Gate.
They'll be like, we'll give you $5 million.
Someone left at that joke.
We'll give you $5 million. I'd be like, I don't give a shit. Shove it up your ass. I probably wouldn't get in a submarine. No. Fuck that. Actually, no, I wouldn't. Now that I think about it, realistically, I wouldn't get in a submarine.
I wouldn't want it. No, not even a submarine. Like I didn't even have that.
Okay, you know what it is? I'm claustrophobic.
You are?
Yeah. But realistically claustrophobic. Like if somebody hugs me, I'm not going to freak out. If I'm in a room like this, I'm not going to freak out. But I get claustrophobic with small spaces, right? So like even if I'm like I could sit in a trunk and you could close it, I wouldn't really freak out. But I would freak out in a submarine underwater. I would freak out in an elevator if it got stuck. I'm scared of small spaces when I feel stuck. But not small spaces themselves.
There's this one video I've been meaning to show you. I can't find.
Is there a fear of being stuck?
There is.
What's it called?
I don't know.
Stuckophobia?
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. There's this video I wanted to show you, but I can't find it anymore because it's been too long. Some guy was going cave diving, and he got stuck in a little cave that was like this big.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
And then he got so stuck that
he died.
He died. Yeah.
Let
me see.
Clethrobia.
Yeah. Clethrobia.
Don't.
No,
You can't even say Amityville. Give it to me.
No, I can say Clethrobia.
You're fucking me up. Give it to me.
Clethrobia. Yeah.
It's
or is it Slithrobia?
Slithrobia.
Put that shit in Google and maybe they can say it out loud for us.
How do you say Clethrobia?
Sure. Translate into which language?
She didn't understand me.
No, ask her what's the phobia called being stuck.
What's the phobia for being trapped or stuck? Claustrophobia. Okay, well, claustrophobia is technically the fear of being trapped or stuck.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So clethrobia is a specific phobia involving the fear of being trapped.
Slithrobia. I feel like that's more
being locked in a bathroom or any small room. So no, I don't get. So yeah, I definitely have claustrophobia because I could feel trapped in a bathroom, but not be that scared.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. I've never been trapped in a bathroom. I might fucking lose my shit. But if I have to go in a submarine 20,000 feet below the sea, fucking freak out.
I guess I do have claustrophobia because I hate being around people.
Or you know what? You've seen The Lighthouse, right?
Yeah.
Would you do that?
Yeah.
Fuck no.
I would.
I wouldn't do that.
I'll do it.
Let me see. Fear.
Because they're only there for like 6 months.
What is it? Fear of crowds? Right?
Yeah, fear of crowds.
Agoraphobia.
Agoraphobia.
Fear of space. Fear of places and situations that might cause panic, helplessness, or embarrassment. Agoraphobia is an anxiety disorder that often develops. Blah 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 blah. Encalophobia refers to a fear of crowds. So, like, if you think about being on a crowded beach on a summer day, does that freak you out?
No, because I have an exit. Like when
being in a mosh pit at a concert.
Yeah, that freaks me out.
Really?
Yeah.
Being in a crowded nightclub.
That freaks me out. Because like when we were at the fair, I didn't get scared because I had enough room to like navigate and leave if I have to.
I felt your fear when I went to the festival. Because I think I said it, where I was so far in the front that it took me 45 minutes to get to the back of the crowd, just walking straight. I was walking straight, maneuvering through people. It took me like 45 minutes to get to the back.
Yeah.
That's a lot of fucking people. I was getting scared because it was not ending, and I felt trapped. I felt like I was hallucinating, and I got to experience your fear a little bit.
Yeah, I think my fear is more severe when it's a lot of people in an enclosed room. Or like when it feels enclosed.
Oh, so like if we went to a concert at the Rialto, you'd feel freaked out?
Maybe. I've never been inside. Well, yeah, I actually have been inside, but I was at the top.
Yeah, like on the bottom, it like curves down like this, and then like everybody's kind of pushed into each other.
Maybe. I most likely will freak out a little.
Huh, that's weird.
But like if we go to a festival or something, or not even a festival, if we go to a beach, like you said, and there's a fuck ton of people, I wouldn't get that freaked out because I still have enough room to like maneuver around people.
I don't mean to call it weird, but I think it's weird because you never really had a fear like that.
I developed it. I know it's weird.
Why?
I don't know. I think I feel like it's like you said, you got to experience it in order to get scared of it.
Yeah, probably, but there had to be some sort of trigger towards it because I know with mine, The specific trigger for why I ended up having a fear of heights was from when I was a kid, because my biological dad worked in construction, and he took me on one of those like jerry rig things that they use, the scaffolding things that elevate. I don't know what it's called. I'm creating a bunch of different names here, but it's those things where you sit in it and then you push the button and it like...
It's just an elevator.
It's not an elevator. It's not what it's called. And it has wheels. He put me on there and then he started taking me all the way up.
Okay, yeah.
And then I just saw the ground like disappearing really, really quick. And then it was like shaking a little bit and I didn't feel safe. And then after that, I had a fear of heights.
I feel like we all have a fear of heights to an extent.
To an extent, but mine is like stupid.
Mm.
You witnessed it firsthand how stupid mine is.
Yeah, it is pretty stupid. No, I think I've developed mine for being alone for so long, and I got used to that.
You got used to your personal space.
Yeah. So like when someone is inside that without me allowing them in, freaks me out.
That could actually that makes sense. It's very reasonable. Like, back to mine for a second. Have you? You haven't. But like, there's this place at Universal Studios in Hollywood where the amusement park is divided into two sections. There's the upper section. There's the lower section. Then they have this glass staircase that comes off the side of the mountain where it's built, and it connects it to the second section.
Mm-hmm.
And my fear is so stupid that I couldn't even walk on the stupid staircase.
So how do you get down to the... So you could take it was like escalators that would lead onto little platforms that led on more escalators. So I could take the escalators all the way down, but I didn't trust it. So I went to the staircase, which was like 1,000 steps all the way down, right up next to the mountain, and I held onto the rail and walked all the way down. But I've seen examples of yours being stupid where we were at a concert and we were just walking up some stairs and you're like, Devin, you're holding me. Is that why you got us the seats way at the top now that I think about it? No, they're just cheap.
Oh.
Yeah.
Would you have got mosh pit tickets?
No, I would have gotten the first row behind the mosh pit.
Does the thought of being stuck in a crowded highway freak you out?
Highway?
Yeah.
No,
you were saying yeah before you knew what I was.
No, I thought you were gonna say a crowded room. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, but we already established that.
Highway, no.
Like, those scenes in movies where it's all crowded?
where like the fucking zombies are coming up behind them.
Yeah.
No, that doesn't freak me out. Because again, I could go. I have
crowded elevator.
No, because eventually I'm gonna get out. If I get stuck, then yeah.
That would fucking suck. Getting stuck in an elevator with 5 to 10 other people.
Yeah.
Like, what if it's one of those elevators where you have to cram in?
Yeah.
And then it gets stuck? I would lose my shit.
When I was in college, there was an elevator that would lead up to the library, and multiple people would just jump in the elevator, and that would freak me out.
That is freaky. My mom hates that though. So if we're ever in an elevator, I start jumping. And she starts hitting me. The one time she threw her phone at me because I wouldn't stop jumping. But especially at the hospital, St. Mary's right there.
Yeah.
Old ass elevators from the 90s.
I have a story back to paranormal.
Okay.
A friend of mine, he said that he went to St. Mary's and he Did you hear that?
No.
You didn't hear that?
No. As soon as you start thinking paranormal, you hear it's out there, it's watching us.
Well,
there's some ghost in here.
He said that him, his dad, his cousin, I think one other person, all went into the elevator, and they were in the 3rd floor. So they pushed the 1st floor to go down and leave. And for some reason, the elevator went all the way to the basement where they keep the bodies.
Oh, that's fucking disturbing.
And it stopped right there. And they said, and he was telling me that when the doors opened, there's a picture of nuns. That's the first thing you see when you come out of the elevator.
Yeah, in the hallway, there's nuns.
There's just a picture of nuns. And he said that one of the nuns just looked like it was getting closer and closer and closer until the doors finally shut and it finally went to the 1st floor.
Reminds me of the elevator game. The game that we talked about on the show where you
I forgot it. I forgot to tell you, Zach from Ghost Adventures played that game.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
So what if the Zach we have now is not the same Zach?
Maybe. The cameras did cut out.
I like Ghost Adventures, but I also know that they faked a lot of shit.
Yeah.
A lot of shit, especially their reactions are
There's this ghost hunting group on YouTube. They seem legit.
There's a lot of them on YouTube that seem legit. And I watch these like scary videos on YouTube all the time. There's this one channel I really like where he compiles videos from across the internet that he finds and that people send to him. And he doesn't put like obviously fake shit on there. All of it kind of seems plausible to some extent. And a lot of them are like, they didn't even realize they caught something until afterwards, right? Which is extra freaky. Like there was this guy. It was funny because it was a gay guy. And you don't really see gay guys, you know, and ghosts together. Because they're always like, oh my God. And then they like run away.
Yeah.
It's a ghost. But like, it was a gay guy. He's freaking out. He's like, guys, I'm by myself at the store and it's weird and I'm scared and blah, blah, blah. And he said that he saw something in one section of the store. Right. And so he's walking by and he's crying and he's talking about it. And then as he's walking by where he said he saw the ghost that he caught on camera.
Wait. I think I've seen that video.
He has curly hair.
It's in the dark.
It's in the dark. Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen that video.
And then they like, if you turn on the brightness all the way, you can see like a silhouette standing there staring at him. Mm-hmm. I see a lot of those. And they freak me out. There's two kinds of ghosts from those videos that I can tell that you can capture. It's either shadowy silhouettes or it's quick moving figures. So there was one where a guy was recording a window and there was a shadow running in between the window frames really quick. And I was watching, I was like, you could fake that. I was like, you just run back and forth. But he was literally moving like the speed you would move a mouse cursor, right? So when you move a mouse, it flings by. That's the speed, and it was back and forth, like whoosh, 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 whoosh. I was like, what the fuck? I was watching it. I was like, that's a little freaky. And there was one where this band was playing at like a community center, and then in the background in the TV, you could, where the TV is, it's like on a stand, and you could see a face pop out and disappear for like half of a frame. And when you pause it, it's like a weird demonic face. So there's a lot of little things like that. It's always the quick moving figures or the shadows.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the dolls. Because there's one where this girl is recording her sister and she's playing with like a Dora doll. And she's recording her. And the sister looks over at the girl recording her. And then the doll's head turns and looks at her too. But she wasn't touching the doll. So there's little shit like that.
The videos that freak me out, they could possibly be fake. Are them like recording themselves in front of a mirror, and then like the reflection starts moving.
No, those ones are fake. A lot of them, yeah.
Oh.
What they do is they get stills of the mirror, and then they add the videos onto each other, and they like cut it so that this will. I've seen tutorials on how they do it.
Oh, okay.
Everything revolving mirrors is always fake to some extent.
Except that one trick I showed you.
Which trick?
Where like you put a piece of paper and then you put a cup and then you go to a certain angle and for some reason the mirror knows there's a cup behind it.
No, what are you talking about?
No? Let's go do it.
What is it?
Let's go do it.
Okay,
We'll be on a break.
Yeah, we'll be right back. What are you talking about?
I need a paper.
This episode is brought to you by our friends at BetterHelp. BetterHelp is a platform that allows you to find and speak with a therapist in a way that fits you and your needs. Whether you have some things that you feel are holding you back, or you just need somebody to talk to, BetterHelp offers you the support system to approach your struggles however you see fit. They have remote therapy sessions that can be done through call, text, or even video conferences. Plus, BetterHelp works with you to find a therapist that fits you. So, if you're interested in taking the first step towards self-improvement and starting therapy, use code MOOMEN to save yourself 10% off at checkout. That's code MOONMEN to save 10% off at checkout. Thank you again to BetterHelp for supporting the show.
fun episode.
Very fun. We have to keep leaving to do activities.
Yeah. Are we gonna mention the noise we heard?
We heard a noise. We heard like a little girl whistle or yell, and it was weird. Like that actually freaked me out. I heard it, and then that's why I paused. I was all.
No, I heard it too, and I fucking broke my neck to.
Yeah, did you hear that? I was like, yeah, I heard that. I was like, what the fuck?
You could probably hear in the audio, like
I
us being like, did you hear that?
Oh no, even then I doubt that.
Well,
I mean, I can see.
Yeah.
I could see. Hold on, I gotta open my third eye. I haven't had one of these since lunch, so these are hard to open. Give me a second.
It's alright. What happened to the other peck?
Killed it. Okay, well no, I didn't kill it. Me and my coworker killed it. Guess he uses them too. So it would have taken me a week to just kill one of them. He helped me kill it in like a couple days.
So mirrors
are weird.
They are pretty weird. I've heard that mirrors are a portal to another universe.
I've heard that too, but you got to think about it. Like if that's actually a thing, that's weird. That you and the other version of you are doing the exact same thing at the exact same time every single time you do it.
No. It's only a portal when two mirrors are facing each other.
Oh, I hate that. Like when two mirrors are like that and then you kind of look in. Like I'm always scared you're going to see something like...
behind you.
Yeah, peek its head out. Like every time you turn your head to look. Like it's weird because you could see the back of your head, but you can't.
Oh, okay, I see what you mean. Like you're looking
like
at
when you
one
look at a mirror,
and
you could see the reflection of the back of your head, and like you could touch it.
Yeah.
But you also can't.
Yeah.
So you can't trust what the mirror's showing you. You just have to. You have to trust it, but you can't trust it. You know?
How are mirrors made?
I don't know. Honestly, I think it's just they get glass and they sand it down, and there's a special technique involved. But like, I think it's two different pieces of glass, and one of them is sanded down, and they add like chemicals to it. Modern mirrors, no idea. Back in the day, though, before they invented these glass mirrors, it was always just like shields and stuff. Or like they would get a piece of metal and they would sand that down until it was like clear, and then you would just see the reflection of yourself. And I don't think those mirrors have the same like evil properties that our mirrors have, you know?
No, I feel like they do, just because...
Like, you know the mirrors that they used to like burn boats when they were attacking, what was it, Troy? I'm not going into a history lesson.
I know what Troy is, but...
I know, but I'm not going into that specific battle.
Oh.
I don't feel like the mirrors that they were using, like the sanding down metal, like even if you get a piece of metal and you sand it down to where it's completely clear, it has the same magical properties as like the mirrors that we make, you know?
No, I think the ones from back then are more mysterious and more evil.
Like the 1800s, yeah, but those are modern mirrors. They're using the same techniques that they're using today.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking about ones from like 600 BC. Like that mirror, it's a piece of metal. Like, you know, it's not that scary. You're not going to get grabbed by a ghost. But the mirrors from like the Victorian area, oh, fuck yeah. Victorian era, not area. Fuck.
Someone calling you?
No, people keep tagging me on shit on Instagram.
People, it's probably your dad.
He doesn't use Instagram.
Oh.
I'm the only one in my family that does, actually. Me and my mom.
And your brother.
No, he uses it, but he doesn't even check his memes or anything. He doesn't use it. Oh. Me and my mom are the only ones that really use it, so we send each other memes. God, does everybody do that now? Does everybody send each other memes?
Yeah.
It's like a fucking... I just realized that my mom does it.
Yeah.
You know she likes Star-Lord and Corpse?
Star-Lord?
You know who Star-Lord is?
Guardians of the Galaxy?
No, what? Not Star-Lord, Scar-Lord.
Oh, the singer, the rapper.
The rapper, singer, screamer. Yeah, she likes him.
What the fuck? I know who Corpse is.
Corpse?
Corpse.
I know who Corpse is.
I know who Corpse is.
Yeah, they have a song together. It's called Like You Would Know. She loves that song. And then I showed her some more Scar-Lord songs to see if it was a one-off, and she likes his music. So what the fuck?
It's a phase.
I don't know. I'm hoping it is because this isn't her. You know?
What phase aren't you proud of?
Oh. There's quite a few. There's a lot of things in my life that I'm not proud of. Did you have phases?
Oh, we all had phases.
I don't remember you having phases. You've kind of been Eddie the whole time.
I've been Eddie, but I've had depressing Eddie. I've had happy Eddie. I had mad Eddie.
Okay, give me an example. You start us off. What was one of your phases?
Back in middle school, I was going through my emo phase, and don't you remember me always putting my hair like this?
No. I remember you would do that in high school when you were like, I'm going to be emo Eddie, and you would put your hair down.
No. I'll make it go like that.
Like deliberately?
Like an arrow, yeah.
Why?
I don't know, because I thought it was cool. I saw Chester from Lincoln Park do it once, and I'm like, that's my new style.
I do not remember that. No, I don't remember.
No, we weren't really friends in middle school. Like, we knew each other.
Yeah, but I don't remember. Okay, yeah, I guess that's true. You could have done it every day, and I would have known.
Yeah.
For me, I would definitely say, like, I would call it my fuckboy era, but not really a fuckboy era, like phase, I guess. Where that period of high school when I was talking to, like, all these different girls and then trying to get pictures from them. And then that's when I had, like, my gauges on.
Oh, that was like junior year, huh?
Yeah, and I was getting my hair cut, like, where it was really long on top and a complete zero on the sides. And it was like...
You look good like that.
When I found the style now, I have to fade it, but I got it where it was, like, completely zero on the sides and only hair on top. And then I had my square glasses and my fucking gauges and... I was trying to wear joggers all the time.
And your Nike hoodie, the black one?
The black Nike hoodie. Fuck.
Iconic, man.
I hate that hoodie.
Why?
Because I just remember all the fucking dumb shit I did while wearing that hoodie.
But it's iconic. Just like my blue Nike hat is iconic. I don't have it anymore.
You don't, huh?
No.
It was either the blue Sunnyside hat or the blue Nike hat.
And maybe something's a blue Cub hat.
The blue Cub hat. It was always a blue hat. And a white shirt.
Yeah.
And then, like, shorts.
Yeah.
What was Alfred's look?
Alfred's was the black hoodie.
The collared shirt. I always remembered him wearing a collared shirt.
Always him with the black hoodie.
Black hoodie, Alfred, yeah.
And then the headphones.
Oh, the headphones, yeah.
The headphones. His Jordans, his gray Jordans.
I guess for Mike, it was his hat. He always had his fucking hat.
No, Mike always had his hair.
His hair. I don't know. Mike always switched his style. Yeah. Maybe his Vans. No, yeah, Tyler's
was the Vans.
Tyler's
Mike
Vans
was
are
shorts.
fucking iconic. These are Tyler's Vans.
Yeah, Mike was just shorts. He always had shorts on.
He always had shorts, and you could always see his fucking knees.
Yeah.
If anything, it was his car or the music. I don't know.
No, it was his short. Like, we're all talking clothing.
Remember we went to that one teacher's house because his dad knew him, and we just went for a drive, like in the mountains, and then we pulled up at that teacher's house. Was it you or was it Justin? I think it was Justin.
I don't remember that.
I thought it was you, but it could have been Justin.
No. I remember that one night when we were in front of Alfred's house and we were tasing each other.
I fucking hate that, man. I fucking hate tasers so much.
You were there, right? We were chasing each other.
Yeah, I remember I was threatening to beat all your guys up because you were trying to tase me.
And then we pulled up to Alfred's house and he gave us like a cup, or he gave Mike a cup. And he's like, "You break my glass, I beat your ass." and
was
then,
that night?
Yeah, it was that night. And then the first thing, the last thing Mike did is fucking put the cup on top of his car and he fucking drove off and then it broke.
God, we were fucking idiots.
We were idiots. At least we weren't stupid idiots.
We were stupid idiots.
No, I mean like getting chased by the cops.
We were. The very first time we hung out with Mike, we got into a road rage situation where we all tried to fight some random dude in a car.
With his family.
And then we almost got in several fights at the football games that we would go to.
We did?
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Well, I remember one. There was two instances, actually. I remember one. And it was always Mike because he's hot-headed. Shout out, Mike. We love you. But he was arguing with some chick. I forgot how it started. And they started fucking yelling at each other. And then I jumped in and I was yelling at her. And she was saying she's going to go get her boyfriend and his friends. And they're going to come beat her ass. Yeah. And then Mike was all, yeah, fuck that. Let's go. And like we were all getting ready to fight. And you were like, guys. You were telling us to calm down.
I don't remember that.
Really? It was at one of the football games. I don't know why we stayed for those fucking things. We never watched it.
I used to watch it.
You got invested in it. We always just stayed to like hang out, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. Good times.
What was the second instance?
What was the second instance? I completely forgot it. I think they were just arguing. I remember somebody was arguing like at the stands. Like when we're in the football stands, I think people were arguing, and I think Mike was a part of it.
Oh. No, I don't remember that. No, but what I mean is, at least we didn't do stupid shit.
Like still stop signs?
Yeah. Like still stop signs.
That was the most gangster story I've ever heard.
Yeah, like still stop signs.
Ever since that day, I knew who was the real gangster among us in high school. It's always the nice guys, man. The fucking nice smiles and shit. Straight A's, fucking stealing stop signs at night.
Like, at least we didn't fucking, like I said, run from the cops. Or remember that one? I do remember us almost getting into a fight with the homeless guy.
I don't remember that.
We were in downtown.
No.
Yeah, it was me, you, Mike, Tyler, and Alfred.
What happened?
We were all taking pictures at that one mural passing the bridge on 4th? Like,
I think so.
It's next to the Funky Monk, I think.
Yeah.
We were taking pictures there, and then some homeless guy's like, "Hey, I can take you guys a picture." And then Mike was like, "No, it's okay." He's like, "I'm not gonna steal your phone." And then Mike's like, "I'm not saying you're gonna steal my phone." And then he said it again. He's like, "I'm not gonna steal your fucking phone." Started getting more aggressive. Then Mike started getting more aggressive. You jumped in, and then Tyler, I think, maybe jumped in. Alfred jumped in, and then I kind of stayed in the background. And then the guy just kept walking, talking shit.
No, I don't remember that. I noticed that with Mike, he always like adds in extra shit. He could be like, "No, it's okay," and then the guy's like, "I'm not gonna steal your phone," and then Mike will be like, "I didn't say you were gonna steal my phone." It's like you could have just left it. He would have walked away probably,
Yeah, who knows?
And that's the thing too, is that like I'm kind of go with the flow guy. So like normally throughout my everyday, I'm not really gonna get into fights. But if I'm with somebody else who's gonna get into fights, I don't stop them. I'm like, "Yo, let's go. Let's fucking get."
You are a bad friend.
Why?
You have to be the one to pull him back.
It depends. Like if they're drunk and they're acting stupid, I'll pull them back.
Oh, okay.
But like, if it's a situation like that and somebody's trying to fight, like I'm there, I'm fighting. Let's go.
That's such backwards thinking.
Is it?
Yeah. Well, no, it's just like bad thinking. You should just break them up. But if punches start getting thrown, and then one of his boys tried jumping him, then yeah, you're forced to jump in.
If we get into a fight tomorrow, you there? You backing us up?
I'll try breaking it up.
I mean, like it starts. Like we turn around and we see a fight.
I'll try breaking it up.
See, no, you got the wrong mentality, man. I need to know that if I ever get into a fight, you're not going to go in there asking questions, trying to figure out who is right and wrong, break it up. Like, guys, drink some water. Let's talk about this. Here, I brought
What do you
table.
mean? That's what you have to do.
No, I want to know that you're in there fucking throwing haymakers with me.
And I want to know if you're going to break it up or not.
Why?
Not jump in and fucking continue the fight.
If I turn around and I see you in a fight, as an absurd of a thought as that is, I'm not gonna ask questions. I'm throwing fucking dukes. I don't care if you started the fight because you had one too many drinks. I'm fucking in there.
That's like what I mean.
Swimwear where
that's what I mean. If
you're getting all hyped now, let's go fight somebody.
If
Eddie.
you started the fight, I'm gonna kick your ass. I'm gonna join them.
You can kick my ass after the fact, but it's in the moment. I need to know that you're right there behind my back throwing fucking dukes.
No,
man.
I'll be in there absorbing the dukes and pushing you away from them.
Nah, I need backup. Like me and my brother, we've discussed this multiple times, and we're both like, it doesn't matter. We're fucking throwing dukes.
You guys are such like wannabe alpha males.
Nah, we're just brothers. Like I don't care if he's the one that started it. But especially because it's family too, like
I won't even do that for my brother.
You need to work on that. I think
I'll do it for
that's a point where you guys can sit down.
I'll do it. I'll do it for my mother, but I won't do it for my brother.
Of course, my mother. That's not even a question. It's not even a debate.
Yeah.
But like my brother, like especially because I'm protective with my family. So if I turn around and I see anyone fighting my brother, I don't care what the situation is. He could have called you a fucking faggot to your face. I'm still gonna jump in there and.
What if?
And I know if he's ever in a fight, he probably started it. But I don't care. I'm jumping in. It's just, afterwards I'll be like, do we really have to get into a fight? I got a black eye now. Like,
that
we can't go back to this club ever again.
So when it was around the first few times my friend group started hanging out, I didn't go that night. I think because I worked that day. They all went downtown, and I'm not gonna say any names, but he knows who he is. He started talking shit to some black guys, and they all left the club and everything. And those same black guys tried jumping him. So then one of our friends jumped in defending him, and he got his ass beat. While the other one who was talking shit came out scot-free. If I was him, that would be my luck. I'll be the one getting my ass beat because you decide to keep your mouth yapping.
No, but I don't start fights.
No, but what I mean is,
so what I'm saying is if I'm getting into a fight, 95% chance I didn't start it. I don't want you to come in and be like, guys, let's think about what we're doing here. Let's all get home safe.
Oh, it's my mom.
Oh my God. I was like, did we lock the door? I don't want you to be like, guys, let's think about this. Let's be friends. Let's talk. I want you to jump in, fucking shove them, start throwing.
I'll shove them, but I'm not gonna throw a punch if I have to. If I don't have to.
What if you like jump in and you shove somebody and then somebody just decks you? Are you fighting at that point?
No, I'll still.
You'll be like,
I'll still try dodging it. I'll be like,
They punch you and you sense it, and then you dodge it, and then you catch their arm. You're all, let's think about this.
Yeah, and because I have a fear like I'm gonna hit somebody so fucking hard that they're gonna die or some shit.
That's not gonna happen.
It does happen. It has happened.
It happens, but the chances of it happening are so fucking rare, Eddie. Like that's an irrational fear.
It's not a fear, but
and like you said, all of your friend group likes to fight. What if we go out tomorrow and some shit goes down?
That's why I don't go out with them when it's downtown. I stay home.
Well, we are going with what, 2 girls and 1 guy, so I don't.
No, it's more like in total, it's like 20 people.
All going?
Yes.
What?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
How many guys though? Well, that's enough to start a fight. I don't know how many
7.
you're at right now.
7.
That's enough to start
so
a fight.
far. 20 is exact.
Is that in counting us?
Yeah. That maybe I'm exaggerating 20 people, but there's more than 10 people going.
It's enough to start a fight.
That's what I mean.
So you got to be ready, man. You got to have the fist ready,
If someone
warm up and shit.
If someone after we break up the fight, I'm going home. I'm leaving you there. I'm going home.
What if I want to go with you?
And you join the fight? No, it's only survivors.
What do you mean?
It's only peacemakers.
What are you fucking talking about? We could discuss our feelings on the way back home.
In the Uber? No.
Yeah. I'd be like, I'm sorry. Don't fucking talk to me, Eddie. I didn't mean for it to escalate like that. Why, Devin? That's my only question. Why? We could do all of that on the way back, but in the moment, I need to know that you got my back.
In the moment, I'll see if I
fucking hate you, man. Like, I know if Rob was here, Rob would be like, hell yeah, I got your back.
No, but we could all say that, right? But you have to be in the moment to see what happens.
I don't need to be in the moment. I know that I'm like, I got whoever's back that I'm with.
I don't know. I have to see it to believe it.
What do you mean?
Well, no, I seen it, so I do believe it to an extent.
What do you mean you've seen it to an extent?
With the homeless guy, with the dad we were gonna beat up.
The dad we were gonna beat up?
Remember?
No.
It was a road rage with Mike.
Oh, the dad we were gonna beat up. Yeah.
So yeah, in your case, I believe it, but I don't ever want it to come to that. To that. That's
Fights happen, man. Fights happen. That's what I'm saying. I just need to know that if and when it actually happens, you're right there fighting with me, and not in the background going, that looks crazy.
No, I'll be in there.
Like swimwear?
No, not swimwear. I'll be in there. But just know, one of the people who are punching you is gonna be me.
Why? I want to reference back to the episode where Eddie's like, if there's a fight downtown, I'm there. But if you're asking me to go talk to a girl, no.
That was an outlandish scenario. But I will purposely knock you out to stop the whole thing.
You'd be like, guys, he's down. He's
down. Yeah, let's stop.
What if they start jumping me while I'm knocked out? What are you gonna do?
At that point, yeah, you're a broken man on the floor.
So then what? You'll start
I'll
fighting.
jump
What if they
in.
knock you out then too, and then you lost your only backup?
That's impossible. I'm too quick for the punches. I'm too quick for the punches.
I'm too quick for the punches. I fucking hate you.
Yeah, they'll go down before I do. That's all I gotta say.
You almost took me out with that one.
Told you. You threw a punch at me, fucking, and then you're dying right there.
Oh my god. Yeah. Well, now I know that Eddie's not down with the set, and when shit pops off, he's not gonna be jumping out. You know. What if? Oh wait. I just remembered something. I can't brush by this. Tell me about the cute girl you stuttered in front of.
Oh, dude, it was so. I used to made her smile because of the fucking stutter.
I've actually seen it before too, so I can picture how bad it was.
So some girl was walking from the side, and I saw her. I'm like, damn, she's kind of cute. So when she opened the door, I'm like, what, welcome in, and then she smiled, and I'm like, I did a good like 6 W's before I got the welcome.
Welcome in.
Yeah. Yeah. I got pissed at I
Even talking about it now, you're was she like your type?
Yeah, she was.
Oh damn. Did you talk to her afterwards?
No.
Well, she had to come back around, right?
Yeah, but I was too like embarrassed to.
That's where you fucking step it up. I'm sorry about that. I just fuck. And then you walk away.
Oh, so make a bigger fool of myself.
No, I think it's endearing, if anything. And then if she thinks it's like embarrassing,
it's tomatoes.
I think you should have.
No, it's whatever. It's a dead topic.
You know what that reminds me of?
What?
When fucking Kyle walked by that one girl that he liked at the mall. We told you that story.
Oh
right?
yeah, when you guys went to go pick up, he went to go pick up girls.
I forgot what it was. Yeah, we went to the mall because he wanted to get girls' numbers or something. He saw a girl that he liked. We walked by her and he's like, she's cute. And so he fucking he asked me to go get her number for him. And so that I went over and I was like, hey, my friend thinks you're cute. And he wanted to know if he could get your number. He's just really shy or something. And then she laughed. And then she said, well, if he feels that way, he's got to be the one to come get my number. So then we walked around the mall until he got enough courage. Eddie, you got to look at me for this because the cringe is going to hit you really hard. So she's at a little concession stand in the center, and we're walking towards the concession stand, and she notices us walking, and she looks at me, and she kind of like smiles and waves, and I wave at her, and I point to Kyle standing right next to me, and I was like, this is him, right? I'm mouthing the words, this is him. And so she's expecting us to walk straight over to her, and then he's going to go do his thing, chat her up. As we start walking and getting closer and closer, he breaks off and walks right away. And then me and my brother are standing there, and then I look at her, and she looks at me really confused, and I was like, I don't fucking know. And then I went to go get him, and then we left the mall. He said he couldn't go back after the shame of it.
See? Lesson learned. Never tell your friends that you find a girl attractive.
That's not the lesson learned. He was the one that asked me to go get her number.
Oh yeah, don't do that. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
He was like 21 at the time. 22. 21. I don't know how old he is now.
20. Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. But don't do that, obviously. God, that also reminded me when you were going to get that one girl's Snapchat at the fucking boba place.
Why are you so, like, on that? I completely it left my mind.
Because I was so disappointed, man. You kept saying you were going to do it, and you never did it. And it just stuck with me. I was like, fuck, man. He's a fucking failure.
Hey, Devin, I still remember that girl from Bookman's. For you.
We don't need to talk about that.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
You were never there. You never saw.
Yes, I did. I was there. It was me, you, and Intro Girl.
Oh, no. I couldn't do it in front of fucking Intro Girl.
Why?
Because she's super fucking judgy, and then she'll start fucking punching me.
She was rooting for you to do it.
No, she wasn't.
Yeah, she was.
I don't remember that.
She was.
She was the same girl that would hit me for looking in the general direction of another fucking girl.
Okay, but I feel like that's a lot of girls, though.
I don't really get that anywhere else. And so that's not the kind of environment where I want to go chat up a girl. Possibly get rejected and then have to walk back, do the walk of shame back to you guys.
I could have done the walk of shame that day, too.
I was rooting for you, though, man. And you kept saying, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it.
I still have the note in my thing that says, next time Devin and I go out to somewhere. And
Are you going to use that tomorrow?
No.
What if I see a cute girl out?
I'll be like, talk to her. And you'll be like, no. I'm like, I tried.
It was a dare, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, it was I know it wasn't a dare. It was.
Yeah, it was like a dare. You're like, all right, I'm writing it down. If you see a cute girl in public, you have to go get her number. And I was like, all right, fuck it, I don't care. You're like, I'm gonna do it. And I was like, okay, whatever, man. And then you haven't used it, and I keep forgetting about it, and you keep bringing it up.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll do it. Like, even if it's tomorrow, like at a loud ass nightclub, like I'll fucking do it.
No.
You only get one use though. Only one use.
That's why I'm not using it tomorrow. It's stupid. You're done with that already?
And they don't last as long.
You know what I recently found out?
What?
Did you know that one story about the big ass wooden horse?
The Trojan horse?
Yeah. You know that story's fake? That didn't actually happen.
Didn't it?
It didn't happen.
I don't know. I've never actually like done research on that because you always hear about it. But
yeah, but you always hear about
Where'd you hear that?
TikTok.
All right, we're fact checking that right now.
Let's see.
Did the Trojan horse
may have not happened?
Probably, says Oxford University classist Dr. Ardman Dianjor, whatever the fuck his name is. Archaeological evidence shows that Troy was indeed burned down, but the wooden horse is... Oh, yeah, the wooden horse is an imaginative fable.
Mm-hmm.
So how the fuck did they get into Troy?
They knocked down the fucking door with their big-ass boot and said, "Yeehaw, motherfuckers, we're here."
I know somebody laughed at that, and that just made me angry. All right, you want to do a quick ad break, and then we'll come back and we'll do the conspiracy?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm ready to.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll be right back, people. It's gonna make me act like a fool tomorrow, Eddie. Can you watch me? Can you be my
Devin, I'm already forced to go. I don't want to do more shit that I'm not supposed to.
It'll give you something to focus on other than being in a club. You'll be like, "Where's Devin at?" "Oh no, he's talking to a girl." Devin. I'll be like, "What? Devin, get over here. You don't know where she's been." And you'll be like,
"No, I don't."
You'll be talking to Lavinia, and
no,
you'll
I
turn
don't.
around. You'll be like, "Where's Devin at?"
You can't.
And then you see me arguing with some tall black dude. You're like, Devin. Sorry, I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry. He didn't mean it. I don't know what he said. He's racist. And then you pull me back. Devin, what are you doing? Stay here. And then you turn around, and then I'm gone. And then you look, and I'm talking to some girl, and her boyfriend's right there. You're like, "Oh my god, it's Paul. Devin, get over here. Come on, sit." And you'll like hold me. It'll give you something to focus on.
Devin,
I'm gonna act stupid tomorrow.
you know, I was 2 seconds away from texting Alex, Lavinia, and Elsa saying I'm not going
Why?
because of what you just said.
I'm gonna act stupid tomorrow.
Devin, don't poke the bear. Because I will tell him I'm not going to go.
You have to go.
If you're acting a fool, I'm just going to leave you there. I'm serious.
It's going to be fun.
I'm serious.
All right. Ready for this conspiracy?
Yeah.
I don't have all the notes, so I'm going to have to fill in the gaps where I can. We're back. Conspiracy time, people. Told you it's happening this episode. I didn't lie, but I don't have all the notes, so I'm sorry about that. It's Eddie's fault. So we're going to do our best here. Oh,
Bitches
God.
coming.
Now I'm thinking about it. It's going to be hard to explain this without all the fucking proper notes. Let me take a gander real quick. All right, so I feel like I have to give you a little bit of history, a little bit of context so you can understand where I'm coming from with this, right? Because this is bigger than just, oh yeah, there might be aliens on the moon. This is like what I started to realize while I was doing my research is like we're kind of finding out the hidden history of the world that we previously didn't know. Because something you got to keep in mind about science is that it's very slow moving and they're very stubborn. Scientists and the science community. Every time you're on the verge of discovering something, they always tell you that it's fake, it's not real, you know, it's pseudoscience. They'll label it a bunch of different things. Like if you were to tell people back in the day that like the earth revolved around the sun, the church would kick you out of your house, prosecute you, and probably even kill you. And now we just know that that's the truth, right? And the same goes for history itself, because people in these different science communities that have proven certain events in history to be true will be like, this is how it was, until they discover something. They're like, that's not true. And then they find proof and they're like, okay, that's how it was, but not like that. And then they find more proof and they're like, okay, that's how it was. Like you constantly have to show them that they're wrong for them to believe that they're wrong, right? So all of these theories that I was researching, all of which come from the Y-Files, the History Channel, and random YouTube videos that I found, are all kind of explaining the period of history before modern humans with theories and science to back up all of these claims, right? And it all ties into the period of history known as the Younger Dryas, where many people, I guess, believe, I can't say scientists because scientists don't really believe it. Many people believe that there was ancient civilizations that were far more advanced than our current day civilizations.
Wait, are you going to bring up Tartaria?
What the fuck is Tartaria?
Oh, that's another topic for
Well, what is it? Give me an example. Tell me about it.
It was that was what they called the civilization before ours. Basically what you just said is what they are. And it was a land.
Well, was it connected to the land of Mu?
I think so.
Do you know what Mu is?
No. But Tartaria was like the most it was the most what's the word? Help me out.
Advanced.
It was
civilization.
It was the most
in
advanced
history.
civilization, and it all got destroyed by something.
So that actually is a perfect segue. So let me pull up the notes again. What people don't realize about civilizations is that they all have a time, and all of their times are very short, right? To give you an example, Egypt was around for about 30 dynasties over the course of 3,000 years, right? That is longer than any civilization that has been around since, let's just say, the death of Christ. So zero. Right? We haven't even got 2,000 years, or we haven't even got to 3,000 years past the death of Christ. right? And ancient Egyptians had been around. Their their civilization had been around that entire time, and they've been going on that entire time. Like if you grew up in ancient Egypt, all you knew and your family knew and everybody knew was Egypt and Egyptians living and being there since the beginning of time, basically, right? Mm-hmm. And all of that long stretch of history was gone like that. And we haven't even come close to that. The United States has been around for like 200-ish years. Not even that. Or no, I guess 200 years. 250 years, something like that. 250 years compared to 3,000. We're already on the brink of everything going fucking stupid and everything collapsing, right? And before the Egyptians, there was the Mesopotamians, the Zergs, the Mayans. There have been countless civilizations that have come, flourished, and then died out for one reason or another. Our entire human history has taken place in the last 0.002% of Earth's total history, because the Earth has been around for 4.5 billion years. And modern humans have only existed over the last 100,000 years, right? There's enough time in Earth's history for these theoretical ancient civilizations to have popped up, flourished for thousands of years, and then die out, just like what happened to the ancient Egyptians, right? And there are many reasons why these civilizations die out, for one reason or another, which I want to get into. But one of the biggest causes that support that is people saying, well, if there were these ancient civilizations, there would be proof of them, right? Not really, no. Because scientists and experts say that if our entire civilization, all of humans right now, were to perish due to some catastrophic event, there would be very little trace of us left over in 1,000 years, let alone 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 years, right? And they theorize that these ancient civilizations existed over 11,000 years ago. So there's almost no trace of them to be found anywhere. So, like, oh God, what the fuck was I writing about? Eddie, explain my notes to me, please.
Let me see.
Well, because I'm trying to like segue all of this information that I have into each other, which is hard because they all kind of branch out into different things, and I'm trying to keep it cohesive, right? But okay, let's just go into the extinctions, right? Because there have been 5 mass extinctions in Earth's history. All of the species that have ever lived on Earth, out of all of the species that have ever lived on Earth throughout Earth's entire history over the 4.5 billion years, 99% of them have all been wiped out or gone extinct because of these mass extinctions. Some of these extinction events can happen over the course of years, and some of them can happen very suddenly over the course of days, hours, or weeks. And a lot of scientists actually believe that we're on the verge of one right now. The first mass extinction event was 450 million years ago. The second one was 375 million years ago. The most catastrophic of these events, which is referred to as the Great Dying, took place over 252 million years ago. And during the Great Dying, 96% of all life on Earth was wiped out. 201 million years ago was the fourth event, and then 66 million years ago was the impact event that killed all the dinosaurs. So on average, there's a mass extinction event about every 75-ish million years, but it's actually a lot closer than that. Extinction events as a whole. And they theorize that it's every 26 million years something happens that completely changes the Earth as we know it. And it's very plausible and likely that the Earth has looked 19 different ways in the past, throughout its entire history.
But wait, if this is all basically like a great reset.
Uh-huh.
If it's every 26 million years and the last one was 66 million years ago, what the fuck happened?
What the fuck?
What the fuck happened for 40 million years?
Well, there is evidence that there was one within those time spans, right? That there was 2 more mass extinction events. one of which being the end of the Younger Dryas, which took place 11,000 years ago, which is when the ice caps melted and there was a great flood that wiped out the entirety of life on Earth.
So you're talking about the biblical story.
The biblical story, which kind of ties into the flood myth in general, because I referenced this in the Hollow Moon Theory episode, but every civilization and culture on Earth has their own variation of the flood myth. Basically, God or gods were mad at humanity and they decided to flood the Earth. And all of it points to the fact that this flood actually did happen, which mainstream science says didn't happen. But just the fact that every civilization that's alive right now that has ancient roots all have myths and legends that tie this event that happened all around the same time together says that in the collective consciousness of all those people that were around, it was something that happened. It was a historical event that we refuse to believe as of right now. And they say that that was the last catastrophic event that happened to the Earth, and that's what wiped out all of those advanced ancient civilizations, right? Now, some geologists have put research into finding out what could cause these events, like earthquakes, to find preventative measures, but nothing conclusive has been discovered as of yet. So whether it be due to an earthquake or a solar flare or a meteor shower or whatever, we haven't found anything that could prevent it from ever happening again, which is why some scientists believe that we could be on the verge of one happening right now, at least a mass extinction event, because it's been about 26 million years since the last one and 11,000 years since the last minor one, if you want to count it.
But
like
wait,
that.
if they were so ancient and everything and so
I knew I should have done more research for your fucking questions.
Advanced, we would have seen signs across the universe. Like our moon, they would have gone to our moon. We could have seen something on our moon by now.
Well, there's always the chance that they did find something in the moon. But like I said in the Hollow Moon Theory, our moon wasn't always in the sky. And we have found ancient writings and depictions of the night sky from 11,000, 12,000, 13,000 years ago, right before the end of the Younger Dryas, that shows the night sky looking very different from what it does today, mainly the fact that we don't have a moon.
Yeah, but...
Which is why in the Hollow Moon Theory, it's theorized that the arrival of the moon disrupted the tidal waves and then caused the Great Flood.
Yeah, but one thing I've heard is that if we were all to cease to exist, all of humanity, one of the last piece of evidence that humans were a thing was the footprint on the moon from Neil Armstrong or Buzz Aldrin. One of them.
Yeah.
And the flag. That will exist for forever. So wouldn't you think that if they were so advanced, they'll go up to a moon or the moon and put some sort of evidence?
But that's what I'm saying, is that according to archaeological finds that have been discovered and through star maps that were charted by these ancient civilizations that existed before us, there was no moon in the sky for them to go explore.
So if that's the case, what controlled the water? Because apparently the moon controls the water and the tides.
It does control the water.
So what controlled it back then? There had to be something there.
Well, no, there was nothing, according to that specific theory.
Yeah, according to that theory. But
that's why it was a much more dangerous world at that time, and that's why the climate was so much more different, because the moon helps regulate our climate. Because of its orbit with the Earth. It was more dangerous, but it was also more prosperous because it was like a steady, stable climate for thousands of years before the moon arrived. And then the moon arrived, disrupted it, and now it's kind of similar to that, but it's also different. And it'll change. Like earthquakes have been theorized to be due to the moon and to the correlation of the planets at any given time, especially if they're at a 90 degree or 100 degree or 180 degree angle from each other, because the electromagnetic fields, which we touched upon in one episode or another, gets disrupted, and then that causes our Earth's core to act up, and then that's what causes the earthquakes.
So wait, what happens when all the planets line up?
I don't know. I don't
Because
fuck, man, do I gotta go do research on these? You gotta give me the okay, for any future theories, I'm gonna just like write out a full script so that way I don't have to go do digging through my notes. Then I'm gonna send it to you, and any questions you have, you send it back to me, and then I'll have all of them, and then you can ask those questions, and then I'll have the answers for you. Because I don't know what the fuck happens when all the fucking planets line up.
Because next month all the planets are gonna be aligned, and you're gonna be able to see in the night sky.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. So like, if the moon somehow it does. If the moon controls our weather, what's gonna happen when all the planets are aligned?
I don't think anything's gonna happen with that. Because like I said, they've seen the most damaging results when they're at a 90 degree or 180 degree angle.
Yeah, but they're at
90 degrees, and then 180 is like...
It's just flat.
180 is not flat.
Yeah, it is.
Is it flat? Oh, you're right. It is flat. I don't know.
So
we could have an earthquake at that time.
That's what I mean. So,
but there's this guy who's doing research into it, and he found that whenever the moon was getting into a certain orbit with the Earth, an earthquake would happen, and he was able to kind of predict when and where it would happen and the size of it, right? Mm-hmm. And he was predicting these left and right, but mainstream geologists were discrediting him, and they were saying that it was pseudoscience and that he was making shit up, and that everything that he was discovering about how the moon orbits the Earth and how it impacts our core and our mantle and how it disrupts the electromagnetic frequencies, which will then cause these earthquakes, was all fake. So, given the fact that we're going to be in an 180 degree alignment with not only the moon, but all these other planets, there is a chance that we could see some earthquakes or hurricanes starting. But then there's also another theory tied into that some people believe it's the HARP mechanism that the United States created to target other countries, where essentially they are generating sound into the stratosphere, which will disrupt the weather, and they can send the signal over to different areas of the planet, and then that's what will disrupt the mantle and the crust, and it'll cause an earthquake.
Okay.
Because there have been a lot of earthquakes and tsunamis that took place right around the time they were testing out the HARP, and the government was saying, "Oh yeah, no, we were just testing it out. It's just a radio tower, blah blah blah." But at the time, it was under the Department of Defense's control. Right now, it's under a university's control, but at the time, it was under the Department of Defense. And when they were testing it, there was these massive earthquakes and tsunamis taking place on enemy soil, mainly Korea, China, and Russia. And one of the events was so catastrophic, it took out all of Korea's military, which then led to them trying to sign peace treaties with the United States around like 2016, 2017-ish, and that's when Donald Trump was going over to do negotiations. So they believe that the Department of Defense used this technology to attack these foreign governments to get rid of all of their armed forces so that they would be forced into peace treaties so we didn't have to go to war. But that's a whole other conspiracy,
right.
Okay? We're getting lost in the facts here.
We're getting lost in translation.
So, yeah, they have looked into what causes these devastating mass extinction events like earthquakes, tsunamis, solar flares, meteors, and all this other stuff. But aside from a few outliers who are able to explain the events and kind of predict the events, we have no preventative measures for that, which freaks me out. Because like when you think about the fact that a giant solar flare could come from the sun and completely wipe out all life on Earth in a matter of seconds is kind of fucking scary. But on top of that, there's the Nemesis theory, which states that we are in a binary star system where planet X actually orbits around our star system, and because of this, the disruption that planet causes when it comes into orbit every 26 million years, ironically, every 26,000 years, it causes these mass extinction events, or because of the fact that it's in the Kaiser belt, it'll launch asteroids over into the inner solar system, which can then hit Earth. And some people believe that Planet X's rotation around the sun hit one of the meteors in the Kaiser belt, which is the outskirts of our solar system, that was then flung, caught into the gravitational pull of the sun that killed the dinosaurs. And it was a meteor that was like 1 mile long.
Yeah, but if that were to happen multiple times, wouldn't we see a lot more evidence?
Well, it doesn't happen multiple times, like meteors specifically, but there has been evidence, archaeological evidence, that they found by examining sedimentary levels and sea levels and radiation levels and carbon levels in soil, rocks, and the earth itself that show ancient civilizations were around, right? So, wait, let me get into that a little bit to clarify. So, carbon actually tells the story of civilization and civilization's advancement.
Carbon, like the element?
Like the element. When we burn fossil fuels, we change the amount of isotopes in the atmosphere. It's called the Seuss effect. Carbon 12, 13, and 14 are the most common carbon isotopes that get launched into the atmosphere, right? These forms of carbon are mainly found from planets, animals, fossil fuels, and radioactive chemicals. Plants. Sorry, I don't know why I wrote planets. They're found from plants, animals, fossil fuels, and radioactive chemicals. The carbon released warms the temperature of the Earth slightly. When we examine sedimentary layers from millions of years in the past, we need to see large spikes of carbon and oxygen, a large spike in metals, and a large spike in global temperature to show us that there was an ancient civilization existing around that time. An advanced ancient civilization, because they would have got to a point where they were using carbon as a fuel source, which would then increase the temperatures in the earth and also release the fossil fuel isotopes, right? So we have found evidence of this taking place 56 million years ago. This event is referred to as the Paleocene-Eocene thermal maximum. This lasted for about 200,000 years, which is close to the amount of time that we've actually been around as a species, right? Modern humans, like when you think of a human, our modern definition of a human. A few million years later, we found similar levels of carbon and radioactive levels in the sedimentary of the Earth's core. So essentially what that is saying is that we have found evidence of advanced civilizations that are using fossil fuels to power their entire civilization multiple times throughout Earth's history, dated at different points in Earth's history, which then supports the theory that there are these mass extinction events taking place every blank amount of years that are wiping out these ancient civilizations. And these mass extinction events need no proving because we have proof of that all over the fucking place. Are you with me so far?
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
So there was ancient civilization.
You lost me with the carbon stuff, but
the carbon stuff is just the science that proves it. So when you're burning carbon, or when you're burning fossil fuels, you're burning carbon, and the carbon isotopes that get released into the atmosphere will help show that there was an advanced civilization using fossil fuels to power their entire civilization. Mm-hmm. We have found evidence of multiple civilizations in the past, millions of years ago and hundreds of thousands of years ago. So basically at different points in the Earth's history, using these methods of power to power their entire civilization. We have also found evidence of multiple different catastrophic events taking place in Earth's history that have all randomly disappeared due to what is most likely mass extinction events, right?
Yeah, but I'll continue your point.
So, again, to the nemesis theory, some people believe that the nemesis theory is that we have a binary star system and that Planet X is actually either a dwarf star or a dead star or a mysterious planet that arrived in our solar system or something of that nature, and that we're a binary star system and that it orbits around, and that could be one of the causes why we have all these mass extinction events. So, fuck, I'm losing my point. Essentially, all of the research that I was doing at this point was stating there are ancient civilizations. We have proof of ancient civilizations, multiple throughout humans' lifespans, or throughout human history, throughout Earth history. And we also have these mass extinction events that we also have proof of. And there are several different causes of what could be causing these mass extinction events.
But if there was multiple civilizations before us, we would see evidence of it. Because if we still have evidence of dinosaurs that happened 66 million years ago, and we still have Neanderthals, we still have evidence of Neanderthals, what makes you think that we can't have evidence of them?
I'm glad you brought up the dinosaurs. So, actually, where did I put it? I have notes on the dinosaurs. They're all fucking scattered.
You should have wrote this down on paper. You would have looked a lot better, a lot cooler.
If I had it down on paper like
Yeah,
last time, the fucking paper noises were so hard to edit out.
That's what makes it cool. You look like a crazy fucking wizard.
Crazy wizard. So dinosaurs roamed the earth for about 180 million years, all right? Trillions of animals lived during that time. Trillions. During a 180 million period, right? Because of one event that happened over, what was it, 11 million years ago?
11,000.
No, that was the Younger Dryas period.
Oh.
Because of one event that happened over 11 million years ago, we are now only able to find, we have only found a little over 2,000 dinosaur fossils. And almost none of them are complete. There's like 10 dinosaur fossils or dinosaur fossil structures that are complete.
No, there isn't.
I promise you. We have found fossils, we have found dinosaurs, but none of them are complete.
How can I look that up?
The amount of complete dinosaur fossil structure. I don't even know how to title that, honestly. My point being
11,000.
11,000 years ago. What?
No, in the almost 200 years since then, approximately 11,000 dinosaur fossils have been discovered.
Oh, my bad. I said it wrong. I wrote down we only have thousands. Trillions of animals live and die during that period, but we only have fossils for a few thousand, and very little of those thousands are complete. So trillions all the way down to a few thousand, which is 11,000. That's not that much comparatively to trillions of species that
Yeah,
went
but
around.
you also got to think of how big and small they were.
But that's the point. They were organic creatures. And they had, obviously we have proof that they were around, right? But you would assume that we have more proof of their existence. If there were trillions of these species wandering around the earth for over 180 million years, we would be able to find more evidence of them. But we can't. And that's the point, is that there's a very high likelihood that there were ancient civilizations around, far more advanced than ours, but because of one of these mass extinction events, we're going to find very little to no evidence that they were ever here.
But
because of something like an asteroid colliding with the Earth and completely reshaping it, to entire continents disappearing like the continent of Mu, which is theorized to have been around, which connected to the Japan islands all the way down to fucking Hawaii. And it was a giant continent that just disappeared to a fucking solar flare event or to a pole shift. Like, if a pole shift occurs, it completely wipes out all fucking life on Earth, and it completely reshapes the entire look and it completely restructures the entire look of the Earth. Fucking Doug. As soon as I stop, he stops.
But what if we're just not looking in the right places? What if all the evidence we need is underneath the water, or it's maybe even in Antarctica. Who knows?
The frustrating thing about it is that mainstream science, whether it be geology, cosmology, or archaeology, all refuse to do actual research into advanced civilizations.
But why is that? Just
a lot of people think that it's a government cover-up, that they actually found proof of these advanced civilizations, or they found proof of this or that, and they refuse to share it with the world for one reason or another. Others believe that it's because the science community hates to be wrong, because it's been proven that most of the biggest science organizations in the entire world are actually bought out by private investors, whether it be a company like Tesla, for example, or the government, because they're the ones funding them. They want to get research that supports whatever it is that they believe. Because if a giant tech company is asking you to invest in, researching something about fossil fuels, they don't want to hear that you just found out the secret to infinite power, because it's going to put them out of business unless they find a way to market it. And so it's very likely that there could be research missing in all these different aspects of all of these different fields, but we'll never truly understand that or find it out. Are you listening to me?
Yes, I am.
We'll never be able to understand it, find it out, or see it, because the people that are actually in charge of doing the research are blind, either by choice or by force. Either they don't want to be wrong and ostracized from their community, and then broke and out of a job because they chose to follow what they think is right, or because they have no choice but to provide research that propagates an agenda that was bought out by somebody higher than them.
Yeah, but don't you think that maybe somebody would have said, okay, somebody in power would have said, hey, we have evidence of all this. We can't keep hiding it.
That's what I would like to think, but at the same time, this is coming from the guy where I said that if AI was actually getting to a point where it was going to kill the world, somebody in power would be like, I'm not going to do it. And you're like, Devin.
That's true. So
yeah, there's probably one or two nice guys in power who are like figuring out like, hey, the history of the world as we know it isn't what we think, and they want to release that information, and they can't because somebody else silence them or forbade them for doing it.
Yeah, but it's too big of a secret to cover up. And it's too big of a secret for...
Not necessarily, because of the fact that there's been so much time. Like, I'm not going to sit here and assume that there's a specific reason why they're covering it up. I think, if anything, they just are ignorant to the truth, and they don't really necessarily care about finding out if there's an ancient civilization or not, because they're focused on the here and now, especially when it comes to companies like, oil companies or power companies, electric companies, shit like that. They don't want to figure out that there might be some infinite source to power that was researched and discovered hundreds of thousands of years ago, because it's going to put them out of business.
But don't you think that somebody by now would have rediscovered that?
Not necessarily. Okay, here's an example. Nikola Tesla was on the verge of discovering free electricity for everybody.
Yeah.
Right? And that's widely talked about. Then he died and all of his research went missing, never to be seen again. And he died poor because the person that was funding him was Rockefeller, the guy who owned all the oil, wood, and railroad companies at the time. And once Tesla started to figure out something that could potentially put him out of business and rob him of all of his fortunes, he pulled Tesla's funding. And then he started funding people like Edison, who were going to continue to make him money, because he found a way to give people electricity, but you had to use your fossil fuels, you had to use wood, you had to use coal, you had to use the railroads, and it kept Rockefeller in business. It kept him making money. And the same thing still happens now. So I doubt there's going to be one millionaire do-gooder or billionaire do-gooder who's like, oh, I'm going to release these secrets that we figured out, because it's just going to rob them of all their fortunes. No,
but what I'm saying is, Tesla found all that information on his own. He discovered it. Mm-hmm. They destroyed he started from nothing. Don't you think that somebody now, maybe in 20 years, is going to be in his same shoes and rediscover it? And
well, that's what all of this is. All of this is labeled as pseudoscience and theories because mainstream science refuses to acknowledge it as anything but a theory, but people are already on the verge of rediscovering things. Like the fact that the pyramids and the Temple of Giza, not the temple, the Sphinx. Yeah, the Sphinx. The pyramids and the Sphinx were actually there before ancient Egyptians ever arrived on the scene, because they're dated to be way older than Egyptian civilizations as a whole. And they found that due to the water erosion marks in the soil and on the ground around the pyramids, which we talked about in another episode, I think. And they say that was correlated to the Younger Dryas period, when it ended and the Great Flood washed over everything, because those structures were around before all of that happened, and we can find dates of that because of the erosion. But the Egyptians didn't arrive until after that. So how is it that we can find the water erosion levels that are dated to be older than the Egyptians themselves, but we equate these structures to the Egyptians? And the fact that the pyramid itself is thought to be a conduit of power, infinite power, that would release into the sky and power like electricity, the way that Tesla was trying to provide for everybody. Like, all of these little theories all connect to each other, and it all points to a period in history that is completely unknown, and that every time somebody tries to make a discovery on, they either go missing, they get killed, all the research gets destroyed, and nobody wants to acknowledge that's truth.
Then that means someone higher is that reminds me of the theory you told me of the Anunnaki controlling us. Well,
there's also that also ties into the Younger Dryas theory and the Planet X theory, because there are people who state, especially the Mesopotamians who believed in the Anunnaki, that say that the Anunnaki is an ancient alien race that inhabit Saturn or Planet 9 or Planet X or whatever you want to call it, came to Earth in search of gold and created humans to mine the gold for them, until the lesser Anunnaki started to breed with the humans and create what's known as giants and what's referred to as giants in the Bible, and then they fought off the Anunnaki. And that, especially the giants part of it, can be found in historical myths, legends, and documents, and artifacts found at archaeological sites. Even in the United States, there are Navajo tribes and ancient Native American tribes that remember a time where giants still walked the earth fucking 5,000, 6,000 years ago.
But even then, we would find evidence of giants.
And we have found huge skeletal bones at archaeological sites. There is a cave supposedly in the Nevada desert where you can find giant bones, and and then the cave mysteriously vanished, and all of the bones that were there are gone. Like, everything we know about history as a whole has been rewritten. Like, they found evidence of ancient civilizations older than Sumeria in the Grand Canyon, which doesn't make any sense, because they say that Sumeria was the first ancient civilization. And not only that, we found proof of civilizations that were doing what Sumerians did 5,000 years into their existence, 10,000 years before they were even a thing, 2 countries over. And it's like, we keep finding proof about ancient civilizations that were far more advanced than we gave them credit for, and a few that were far more advanced than us now, that mainstream science refuses to acknowledge or believe. Especially when you take into consideration the story of, like, Atlantis, right? Which, that's what you're talking about. The place you're talking about, what the fuck was it called?
Tartaria.
Tartaria was one of the ancient civilizations that competed with Atlantis. And it's theorized that they were the 2 main powers of that time period, and that they were wiped out at the end of the Younger Dryas when the Great Flood came. 1,000-foot high tsunami waves crashed over the earth. And, like, there's proof, loose proof, I'll say that. There's loose proof of both of these ancient civilizations. and there's tales that have lasted through time of them talking about Atlantis, because Plato talked about Atlantis from ancient Greece, and when he talked about it as an ancient civilization that existed before Greece was around. Ancient Egyptians talked about Atlantis, and they said that their god Thoth was a god, the one that has the beak head, the bird head.
Mm-hmm.
They say that he was from Atlantis, not specifically, but you can find evidence and stories that talk about him coming from an ancient civilization or from another planet, right? It's like there's lots of little bits of evidence all connected together, all tied into all these different theories. And I'm like, fuck the extra theories. We should connect all of this into one big timeline and talk about the missing history and all of the different things that could have been happening that all connect to each other. Because what people don't realize is that all these theories are simultaneously proving each other at the same time, which all connect to the Younger Dryas period, which all connect to the ancient civilizations before us, from the one that was 68 million years ago to the one that was 37 million years ago to the one that was 11,000 years ago. We have proof of all of these ancient civilizations. And there's a high chance that there could have been ancient civilizations before humans even existed. Meaning there could have been a whole different species taking over the earth.
So now that you have all this information and you open your third eye, how does this change your perspective on everything?
It honestly doesn't. If anything, it just makes me appreciate life more and makes me want to go and live life more, right? So before we get to that, let me tie this in real quick.
Okay.
We've all heard of the reptilians, right? And I'm not going to go on a whole reptilian spiel or an Anunnaki spiel or an alien spiel. Mm-hmm. But there is a high likelihood that there were different species inhabiting the earth and dominating the earth with advanced technology the way we are now, way before humans were around. Because the modern human, like I said, became what we know it today as 100,000 years ago, but humans have existed for the last 6 million years, right? Before that, there was no humans. So how the fuck are we finding evidence of ancient civilizations 68 million years ago, 37 million years ago? Who was it? And that's enough time between those for like an ancient race of reptilians to pop up, create a whole timeline of things that they did, have many civilizations that spawned at that point. Some rose to power, some disappeared, and then they all get wiped out. Then 20 million years later, the same thing happens with a bunch of monkeys and gorillas, and then they all die out. And then 20 million years after that, we pop up, and then we start, creating our own history, and then we could die tomorrow. And then 20 million years after that, another civilization pops up. And that ties into your question because it just makes me appreciate life more. And it reminds me of what we talked about in that one episode of Life Goes On, right? Like we could all die out tomorrow from a solar flare or an asteroid or a catastrophic, cataclysmic event, a nuclear war, whatever. And 25 million years from now, 4.6 billion years from now, there's going to be another ancient race or another race or species or whatever inhabiting the planet at that time. There's going to be 2 more dudes on microphones talking about it and theorizing that there might be a race of ancient humans.
Don't you think of it more like whatever I do in my life is not going to matter?
Well, yeah, but I've already think that. Because, like I've said before, I'm a nihilistic existentialist. So, I believe that life itself has no inherent meaning and that we were born by accident. And because of that, we get the freedom to make our lives whatever we want it. So, if you want to buy an expensive-ass fucking car for no reason, even though it's not smart, do it. Because then you could at least die saying that you got to do what you did. If you want to go skydiving, do it. If you want to stay at home all day, you could do that and do whatever you want, because there's a high likelihood that like humans as we know it are going to completely die out within the next 5 to 10 million years.
But do you think that maybe in our lifetime, all this information is going to be finally brought into light and it's going to be mainstream? No.
I think if anything, we're getting to a more ignorant place than ever. And this information is for those who are lucky enough to hear it, absorb it, and understand it, and then do what they want for it. And I know that all of this that we talked about is kind of just, with as much research that I put into this, over 6 hours I should add, it's still only the surface level. So I know I'm going to have to write out a full timeline of all the theories and all the events and all the science that explain it, and then we'll have to do a full timeline depth. But I wanted to talk about this specifically because I was going to branch this off into like the hollow moon theory or the unlimited power theory or the nemesis theory, which we kind of talked about, or the reptilian theory or the planet X or the Anunnaki or the fucking Gobekli Tepe, which also ties into the ancient civilizations theory, or the mass extinctions or the CIA, and all of it all kind of connects together. But that would be like a 4-hour episode.
I mean, we're almost 3 hours deep.
I don't think we're almost 3 hours.
Yeah, we
deep.
are.
It's not a good indicator. We're 30 minutes behind whatever that says.
No, we're not.
20 minutes. My point being is that even though we didn't go full depth on this, there's still way more that we don't know. And I only started putting all this together as I started learning about these theories and thinking about it more from a scientific perspective or like a historical perspective, because there are a lot of things about our history that don't add up, like the fact that we just found out the Trojan horse didn't exist.
But how about religion? Where do you think that comes into play?
I think...
Like not just Christianity, but...
No, I think it's every living creatures, every sentient creatures curse to find meaning in their existence. And there's always going to be some sort of God or another. Because isn't it weird that throughout all of human history, throughout all of the civilizations that ever have existed and been documented, every single one of them believed in a God. Every single one of them had their own version of God and had their own version for explaining things, whether it be the Mayans, the Mesopotamians, the Sumerians, the Egyptians, the Greeks, the Romans.
But it's all probably the same God, but he just like the whole with Christianity, once God defeats the devil, Earth is gonna be the new heaven. And every single,
well, not every single, but a majority of religions also have their own version of doomsday or the rapture or the end of the world.
So
where this event has to happen and then this is going to happen.
So what I'm connected, it's probably like a stretch, but how I'm seeing it is it's all the same God, but he just destroys his creation until he finally gets the right one. And maybe we're the last one that's gonna get it right.
Oh, that's a shadow. I don't think so necessarily. Because
just like us, he created two people, and then it turned into 9 billion people, and then eventually it's rapture's gonna happen, the world's gonna end, God is gonna come back, and it's gonna be a new heaven. Eventually, this earth gets destroyed, and we eventually come back to it, but to a new green earth.
Well, that's funny that you actually bring that up, because now that I'm thinking about it, I think that's the only religion in modern times that say we're going to come back to Earth, almost like there is going to be another mass extinction event, and then afterwards the chosen few will get to live on the new Earth. Mm-hmm. But
because
to me, what sucks about that, or what they're missing from that, is the fact that after one of these mass extinction events, the Earth is inhabitable for millions of years.
Probably to adjust for the next civilization.
But like, if there's a pole shift, it's going to completely wreck the entire Earth as we know it. I won't go into the details, but basically, the Earth is going to go from how you picture it and how you see it in space to a ball of mud. And then over the course of millions or hundreds of millions of years, it's going to slowly start to wean and wave and turn into a new version of Earth.
Don't you remember the Eternals?
No.
movie?
That movie sucked.
It didn't suck. It was an okay movie.
It sucked. It was boring.
No, but if you rewatch it after discovering all this, that movie kind of backs up these ideas.
How?
So, I forgot the god in that movie. That god created the Eternals to keep everything in check. But then those people start to realize that they're just different versions of how can I say, they're all different versions of what they were in the past. So like before they were human, they were a robot. Before they were a robot, they were a lizard person. Before they were a lizard person, they were this. And there was millions of them. So what I'm thinking is that, like I said earlier, it's the same God is just creating different things every time.
Well,
and it's true, like you said, in Christianity, the chosen few are going to be able to live in heaven, the new heaven. So that maybe that's the case in every civilization. There's a few in each civilization that carry on to the next, that brought in new life, taught them the way, and then left, and then died.
Well, the thing is about religions, if we're looking at Christianity as just a religion,
because that's the only one I know,
and not the truth, because like with Christianity, especially in the West, we get so used to thinking of it as like history and the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Not to discredit or shit on anybody, I'm just saying we do. I catch myself thinking it like that sometimes. What you got to realize is that there were hundreds, if not thousands, of different versions of Christianity before Christianity was what we know it today, even before Christians were Christians. And what historians have found, especially religious historians, is that all of these different beliefs and religions all borrow from each other. And that's why you'll see repetitions of stories and gods in all of these different religions, but not to a wide extent. Like Greeks and Romans shared a lot of the same beliefs and believed in a lot of the same gods, but they just called them different things. So that's an example of where they were mirroring each other. But there have been examples, which I can't give you specifics on, of where Christianity was taking elements of other beliefs from, like, the Sumerians, for example, or the ancient Göbekli Tepe.
But that's why I keep saying it's all the same God, and it's all the same story. It's just we're interpreting different each time. But for the most part, it has the core principles. Don't kill anybody. Don't rape anybody. Love each other.
Don't rape anybody.
Well, yeah, don't do harm to each other, I should say.
Yeah.
Love each other. Praise me. Then you can live a long life fulfilled. It all kind of has the same core principles.
I kind of see what you're saying, but at the same time, there are different beliefs out there that don't follow those same principles.
Yeah, but in the Bible it says, "Watch out for false prophets." Those ones could be the false prophets.
But you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I know. But if you're subscribed to a religion, why are you gonna subscribe to a religion where it says it's okay to kill?
I'm not saying that there are
but there's religions out there.
I just think
like
that if you look at it from a historical perspective, you can see where like they all take inspiration from each other, and to you're gonna say that's because it's all part of the same God, even if we're misinterpreting it. But you could see like where it started in like a game of telephone, where it started to morph and branch out into these different things, and then this one died off, and then these two kept going, and then they collided, and then they created 3 new versions of it. Mm-hmm. And like none of it is the same. And like if it's the core belief of this one God, like it wouldn't get to these different points where now you have people who believe in reincarnation, people who believe in an afterlife, people who believe in a heaven, and people who believe in a different spiritual plane. Like they would all kind of converge to some extent.
Yeah, but
And it's almost lazy writing to put, don't believe the other ones. Just believe ours.
Yeah, but like I said, they almost every single religion has the same core principles. It just has different stories and how they got there and what happens at the end. But in every popular religion, like I said, it has the same core principles. So that never got lost in translation. The stories did, sure, but if you look at I'm assuming if you look at the other religions, it's gonna say love each other, don't kill each other. Believe me, don't believe them.
Well, to some extent. I mean, some of them don't even teach you core principles like that. Some of them will just teach you life lessons. Like, especially when it comes to, like, Greek mythology. A lot of it was more, not necessarily do this and do this. It was like, here are stories about gods, learn from their stories.
Yeah, but it's
so like loose, like this is what you're supposed to do. But there was also a lot of different things that because of the time period that were accepted, which are now frowned upon in today's standards. Which wouldn't make sense if it was all coming from the same place and being interpreted differently, you know? Like,
yeah, but in the Bible, you could read about Matthew, Luke, John, and all them, and you could still take life lessons from them.
Yeah, but in the Bible, it also gives you core testaments to follow, which is one of the few religions that actually gives you like a set of rules to follow. And even if all these different religions are kind of giving you stories and pointing you into that direction, it leaves you with enough room for interpretation to be like, well, I could actually still do this, you know? Where in times like in Greece, it was perfectly socially acceptable for you to get drunk, like on a regular basis.
Mm-hmm.
And it was also socially accepted for you to be very promiscuous and sleep around, especially with different genders.
But
it's now frowned upon thousands of years later.
Yeah, but those are coming from the same people who call themselves gods, when in reality there's probably only one God. I know there's only one God. What?
They didn't call themselves God.
Well, Zeus.
No, they had their own gods, but they didn't call themselves gods. And I think it's funny that, at least in my own research, as I've looked into all of these different mythologies and religions, how every religion in their eyes, they're always the chosen people, right? Like with Greeks, all of the gods were Greek, and like Greeks were the most dominant nation and the most dominant people. With Christians, it's the Jewish people. They're the chosen ones. They're God's favorite. With the ancient Zulus, it was the same for them.
Yeah,
with the Norse mythology, it's the same for them.
But what do they all have in common?
What?
They're all powerful. So no matter if you let's say you become the greatest fighter of all time, right? You're 200-0. What are you going to be doing? What are you going to be saying? You're going to be thanking God, and then you're going to say you were the chosen one because God gave you the powers to defeat 200 people.
I don't see how that correlates to their civilization.
Well, what I'm trying to say is they say they're the chosen ones because they're the only ones that were strong enough, and they think that God chose them to lead whatever.
Okay, I guess they're hyping themselves up.
In a sense.
But even in their historical texts, especially when you look at Christianity, it's always stated, especially in the Old Testament, before it kind of opened up the gates to everybody, that it was just Jewish people, and just Jewish people had it correctly, right? And even when you look at Muslims, modern-day Muslims, they believe that only Muslim people who follow the faith are going to get into heaven.
Well, that's where wars come in. And that's when whoever wins the wars are going to say, we are the chosen people. So since we won the war, you have to follow us this way.
I don't see how that correlates again, though.
What do you mean? So,
well, what did the wars have to do with all of them?
Because in the Old Testament, they say that Jews are the most powerful, right? Or whatever you just said about Jews.
Essentially. Okay, so you're saying that they rewrite history after the wars finish?
After the wars are finished,
but
yeah.
throughout history, the Jews and Hebrews have always been persecuted. And they've never been like war-waging people, and they've never been a country that goes and gets into a lot of wars. They've always been the subject of wars, which again, I can see them hyping themselves up, but it's not like they're going and rewriting history because they're the victors. And you see that with all of the religions across the board, and all of the mythologies, and all of the belief systems. Except for few, like Buddhists. They don't really necessarily believe that they're the greatest, and that
they're more humble about it.
They're a lot more humble about it, and they believe anybody can, reach nirvana. But most religions are like that, especially ancient ones that kind of carry over into modern day ones.
But I think the ancient ones were more ignorant. Probably because
But who's to say that our versions of it aren't ignorant, and we just think that we're not? That's the argument.
I think it's because in ancient times they thought they were the only ones. They didn't explore the whole earth.
Well, there's a theory that connects to that about the ancient civilizations that proves that we were a lot more interconnected than we expected. Where there have been Pacific Islanders that have things from mainland China in their territories.
But that could have just been just a
and
one-off.
There have been, species of birds and animals that share DNA at different parts of the globe. That wouldn't normally migrate over there.
Animals, they don't really count.
Why wouldn't they count?
Because they could roam wherever. There's jaguars that are living in Arizona.
But that's different. We brought them there. This is from like ancient times.
No, they just traveled through.
There's also, interconnected cultures that are across the globe, where it's like this country and this country have a lot of similar beliefs, origins, and even common words, and their languages are very similar, their cultures are very similar, but they're on two different parts of the planet. And it's because at one time they were able to communicate a lot better. So the theory that ancient civilizations weren't really like interconnected is false to some degree, because according to the mainstream science, the pseudoscientists have already found proof that ancient cultures were a lot more interconnected. So to say that even their beliefs wouldn't have carried over is in a sense ignorant, but that's what they lead us to believe. They lead us to believe that all these countries were isolated and that nobody ever talked or communicated or traded.
It was probably harder.
It was definitely harder, but like
I said, it was probably like one guy is like, "Hey, I'm from Greek. Where are you from? Or where am I? Japan. Oh, this is what we do in Greek. This is what we do in Japan.
Greece.
Whatever.
This is what we do in Greek.
Whatever.
But there's just, I think a lot of it too comes with like context. And if we were able to learn more about our history and how things actually played out, we'd be able to better understand things like religion. And then we could either further prove or disprove the existence of certain gods. Like, there's so much about it that we just have to take on blind faith because of what we don't know.
Well,
when it comes to our history, our technology, our place in the world, and our views of the world.
What the fuck?
What? It's interrupting the show.
Oh, it's just Kyle. Our streak was dying. I didn't realize.
That's funny because we mentioned him.
I forgot my point.
I think that there's definitely a huge gap in our history.
No, there is a huge...
can help us understand ourselves, our outlook, our beliefs, and our place in the world.
I think it's just we're too young still to find all the information out.
I don't think it's that we're too young. It's that we're not prioritizing it. We're not prioritizing like the unison of the world. We're not prioritizing finding our common collective history. And we're fine letting it go to just die out. We're fine letting it die out, which in a sense, makes sense if none of it really matters in the first place, because we'll eventually all die out. But as of right now, it would be nice for us to know the past so that we can understand the now and the future.
No, I think if we all collectively agreed, let's all find out the real truth, it's still going to be lost in translation. It's all still going to
Even if we all found it right now, I understand that we probably wouldn't get it right now, and it would take years for us to examine it, understand it, and actually realize it. Because then we could find a piece of evidence and interpret it 6 different ways, just like with religion. And then it would take years for us to figure out what it actually is.
So I think it's...
But it's the surprising lack of any care of ancient humans' history that makes our position in the world as of right now and our beliefs and our outlook so much more difficult and confusing.
I think in the past, like in the 1900s, early 1900s, I'm pretty sure they were obsessed with that. And maybe definitely way before that. I think it's just a different time now. It's a far more tense world now.
Look at it like this. Like, because of how much we know about our immediate past, going back to probably like the 1500s, how much of it we have documented and how much we know, we're better able to, and you're going to say we're not because we're more divided than ever, but all of us have the information available to us at any time of what's gone on through human history. And it's the reason why we're able to get to a point of like equality amongst races, because we were able to see, racistness towards Jewish people and black people and people of color throughout history. If we didn't have that available to us, then a lot of that would have carried over to now. It's because we get to experience the faults of our past that we can fix our present and our future. And we can't understand bigger concepts like that if we don't have all the context.
I think it's because it's too far out to find like not factual evidence but hard evidence that
it is. Yeah, that's a big contribution.
So it's like a big leap of actual faith that you have to take on. So, and like I said, now it's a more tense world. So if we were to stop all war, stop the war in Ukraine and Israel, shit like that, and just say from here on out we're gonna learn our past, there's going to be a trillion different versions of the past, and it's going to cause more conflict and more intensity.
I know that, but that doesn't necessarily mean we shouldn't try, because if we're already fighting as it is, and we're going to fight no matter what, we might as well start finding out about ourselves, because there seems to be evidence from older civilizations, like, what the fuck are they called? The eternity pillars? There are structures and things found at archaeological sites that are theorized to be from ancient civilizations. I have to say theorized. That kind of warn us about things and events that could happen in the future, whether it be a cosmological phenomenon that takes place every blink amount of years that they found and were aware of but could do nothing about, and left evidence behind to warn future civilizations that we'll never see and thus will become subject to, because we haven't been able to go and research and find all of these things. I
think it's because, like you said earlier, there's too many corporations who are focused on the business and getting money.
And that's what sucks about it, It sucks that we can't learn from the past because we're too focused on the present. And thus, because we're too focused on the present, we can't fix our future.
I think we have to go through this in order to get...
And I'm sure there was an Eddie 11,000 years ago saying to the ancient civilizations, I'm sure we just have to go through this to figure out what's going on in the future. Boom! Everybody's dead. And they're like, well, at least we left this prophecy behind to show people, like, this is what's going to happen. It happens every 20,000 years. Hopefully they'll be prepared. Hopefully life even spawns. And then, boom, we continue on. we survive, we thrive, we expand, we get to a point of advancement very comparable to what was there before, and they're like, well, surely they're going to be prepared for whatever this is, and then nope, boom, we get hit with whatever it is, and then now we're back to square one.
It's just a cycle. It's just...
And I know it's a cycle, but it's a cycle that we could theoretically prevent and fix if that's the case, because we found structures and tablets and things like this that point towards things that could happen in the future at several different sites across the world. And it's like a cycle that ancient humans were trying to break. And it's a cycle that we'll have to keep going through as a species or eventually die out. Like those other ancient civilizations from 68 and 37 million years ago. Because it's like, if there's a set timer on when things are going to happen, you have this amount of time to try and figure out a solution. Otherwise, your entire race gets wiped. All humans get fucking wiped. And now it's the reptilians' turns. 50 million years from now. And then they'll find evidence that we were here. They're like, hey, we found evidence in the sedimentary layers from 50 million years ago saying that there was an ancient civilization here that was us. And they're going to be like, and they're going to ignore it. And then 20 million years from that, boom, they're gone too.
Well, no, I think it's just that's a humanity thing. If the next civilization after us, they're not going to be humans. They're going to be robots. And then... That's
even assuming that we get to a point where we can advance robot technology like that, and then that it's able to survive whatever hits.
No, well,
because if the Earth gets completely destroyed... and there like a pole shift happens or a solar flare happens and the Earth and everything on it's completely destroyed and it gets reformed and it gets restructured, there's not going to be a single computer or anything technology related that's going to survive.
Yeah, but who's to say that it has to be technology? What I'm saying is it doesn't matter what's going to happen next. They're going to try learning from us, but it's the same cycle over and over again.
And we could be the ones to break the cycle, is what I'm saying.
No, but that's not our... I don't think that's what we're meant for. I don't think we're meant to break the cycle. I think every civilization is allowed to just live their life however the fuck they want. They're not meant to break the cycle.
You know what? You're right. I'm forgetting my existential roots. That's essentially my life philosophy. You get to live it however you want, and it's a never-ending cycle of torment and death, and we're just lucky to be here.
Exactly.
But that doesn't necessarily mean that you could choose to try to figure out all of that shit with your life and try to advance life for the better in the future.
Like you could do that if you want, whatever. And let's say you're successful with it. The idea of it is still going to go on and on and on. So, like, let's say the civilization after us finally breaks the cycle, right? They go into a new cycle. What's that cycle going to be? They're not going to know, so they're just going to spin themselves into oblivion.
I get what you're saying. But if anything, it could be the reason that humans get to live on as a species and conquer more than just the Earth. Otherwise... it would be sad to think that all of the prior ancient civilizations from millions of years ago or hundreds of millions of years ago were also human. Because then it just means that we're stuck in this fucking state of purgatory.
I don't think we're meant to discover space. I don't think we're meant to inhabit other planets.
I don't think we're ever going to get to a point where we're a space-faring species and we're able to go to different planets, but it would be nice at the very least if humans 100,000 years in the future are able to migrate from Earth to another planet.
I don't think that's going to happen. I think we're just meant to be here. And let's say we were able to go to another planet. We're not going to have evidence of us going to that planet.
That's true. And then I guess it just turns into a fucking life question. Like, what is life? What's the purpose of life? Why do we even want to go into these planets? If you get put into a robot body, why are you going to want to write movies? It all comes back to life, essentially. And it's very hard and depressing to think about.
Well, no, it's just however you want it to be.
But more than anything, I don't think that we should have our history taken away from us. I think we should at least have that.
No,
and
it's,
then
it's
what
ne-
we do with that information is
it's-
up to us.
It's never going to be taken away from us.
It's
just,
already has been.
No, but how has it? Because we're talking about it right now.
We're talking about it, but we don't know about it.
No, but we can know about it. We have the tools to know about it. It'll be different if they completely took everything, every single word away from us. Then it's our history was truly taken from us.
You know what's funny? This is exactly what's going on in One Piece right now. They're
Really?
talking about a chunk of history that nobody knows about, that the government has been hiding from them for 900 years.
Because if the government truly wanted nobody to know our true history, they wouldn't have it on the internet. They'll have it banned from the internet.
Then again, the internet's a thing that they're just starting to understand, I think. It's not like once you put something on there, it's there forever. And there's a chance that there have been things that have been discovered that have been put on there that have been wiped. And we're only seeing what they want us to see.
Exactly.
So, I mean, there's a very good chance that we're having history taken away from us at this very moment that we'll never get to experience.
And I'm pretty sure that the civilization before us said that this exact same words about the ones before them, and so on and so forth. But you know what's crazy? I wonder how it was for the first civilization.
I don't know.
They set the tone for everybody.
Man, it's hard to think about, because if it really was that civilization from 68 million years ago and they got to our level of advancement or even farther, like what were their beginnings like? What was the Earth they had? Because it's different.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been completely different from the Earth we have now. And with the way that our solar system would have looked at that time, they could have been a completely different species. They could have had completely different life forms on this planet. They could have had some weird ass fucking creatures on there that we would freak out seeing right now. They could have just been aliens from space. Who knows? They could have been gator people. God, that would have been weird. Gator rock.
Or it could have just been false history. Who knows? You're just taking a leap of faith. Sure, there's evidence behind it, but you're taking a leap of faith because it's too far out.
It's crazy to think about. And it's crazy to think that all of Earth's history all of human history, I should say, has taken place over 0.002% of Earth's history.
Well, that's modern.
No, everything about humans.
Everything?
Everything. From the very first human that walked this earth.
Because you said the first modern human was born 100,000 years ago, and
that's from when we advanced from like Neanderthals. But humans have been around for 6 million years. And from 6 million comparatively to 4.5 billion
is nothing.
And all of human history that we know of, 0.002. And that's a lot of fucking history.
And I think that's another reason why we're not meant to know the past, is because that's too much information. It's going to drive you crazy.
Yeah, I mean, there could be that. I just think it's very, very interesting. And the fact that we don't know that much about it makes me want to know more. You know, it's just something like you said, we'll probably never know, and that we probably shouldn't know, but it makes you want to know it. That's the human condition.
Yeah.
And
the curiosity of it.
And it's interesting to think that there could have been civilizations far more advanced than ours that figured out, like, better uses of power and how to get it.
Yeah, but like I said, if they were truly advanced in us, then they would have left something behind, knowing that eventually they were going to get wiped away.
Well, they're advanced, but they also flew too close to the sun. They let their hubris take over, and because of their cockiness, like, they assumed they were going to be here forever. If Atlantis really was advanced, then they were on the point of, like, human and technological symbiosis, and they were at a point where they were, like, getting to explore space, and they had fucking floating vehicles or whatever the fuck. They had infinite power sources. They were probably like, we'll be here forever. Why the fuck do we need to mark our place? I think the only reason we started to mark our place in the universe was because of small little bits of information that we get. Like when the Hoover Dam was constructed, they put a star map of what it looked like when it opened, knowing that there's a chance that we could all die out, and that hopefully one ancient civilization would be able to find the star map and date when this structure was built, if the structure was even standing.
What's more bizarre than to me, well, not more, but what's bizarre to me is that I'm pretty sure there was an Eddie and a Devin 5 million years ago talking about this. Yeah. And they got lost in history.
Yep. And so who knows? It could just be a fucking time loop, if anything. It could be a situation where there's like a black hole that is so big and gargantuan that we can't even detect it on any modern instruments that we have, that swallows up the entire known universe and throws everything back in time, but fragments of things are, you know, spit into this new version, and then we just keep repeating history endlessly.
That's what I mean.
Like, what if we're modern day Atlantis, and then 5 million years in the future, they're going to be talking about us, and they're going to be misinterpreting us. Like, there's so much that we don't know, and that's what sucks, is because we're left to wonder about it. But then if, like you said, if we know about it, it's too much information. It could be that all of these parallel universes crash into each other and things get spit into their universes. You know? It could be that the bubbles of universes, like what we talked about, the webbing of the universe, when you pull all the way back, we're just a giant bubble. It could be that those bubbles collide and that, like, those are the fragments that get thrown into these universes. Like, there's so much about us and life and things that we don't understand.
And, like, we're not meant to know everything.
But what sucks is that we have all of these remnants that are constantly begging to be discovered and answered, right? Like Stonehenge. We're stuck with it. And we're looking at it like, what the fuck is this thing?
Have they ever tried burying down?
I don't think so. I mean, I don't know for sure, but like, we're just stuck with it, right? Like, what if mass extinction event happened, but for whatever reason, the Washington Monument stayed? Boom, just right there. Big ass white pillar. And it decays over time, but all we have is the base of it. And then a million years from now, they're looking at it like, what the fuck is this? We couldn't build this with what we have right now. And there's no way that they could ever find out how it's made.
That's what I meant by it's a cycle. We're just going to keep going and over.
It's just crazy. It's just crazy that we're stuck with the remnants of it, and we'll never be able to figure out what it was or what it's caused or what it was for. And not only when it comes to ancient civilizations, but even in our modern recent history, you know? And there are things about our modern recent history that we'll never be able to know. Like, what happened to all of Tesla's research? What was the technology he discovered? What's the ether?
What happened to the library in Alexandria?
Yeah, what happened to the library in Alexandria?
You asked me if I had the ability to be immortal. Now I'm gonna ask you, knowing that there's probably gonna be a next civilization, would you still be immortal and lead the next civilization? No.
No.
You wouldn't do it?
Well, no, because that's just, now my life is taking care of 40 million kids. That's it. It's just leading them. It's, Jeff, I told you not to hit John. That's against my rules. You're going to hell.
I think there's a book about that. I read it in high school. I just forgot what it was called.
You know, if you become an immortal and you have to lead the next civilization, your entire life is now babysitting.
Yeah, but you want a family.
They'll be like, God, what? Man, I'm trying to nap. Sorry. My crops are dying. So, can you bless them so I can eat? No, man. Okay. We don't do that here. Okay. Like, it's dead.
Okay.
You were bad this week. Fuck.
What if you don't have to lead them, but you could just observe from afar? You can walk among them. No? It's
a lot of time, man. You like, think about it.
Like, it is.
That's a lot. What would you do? Like, you survive the next mass extinction event. You're witnessing the beginnings of a new civilization. And then you come out of your cave or whatever the fuck you're hiding. You don't have nothing to occupy yourself with. You got sticks and stones. You have no fucking phone, no books, no nothing. Everything's gone. Humans gone. So now you're watching the civilization. You're looking at these like lizard people and they're like running around beating each other with sticks. And you're like, fuck, man. And you're like, should I go help them? Should I show them how to start a fire? You're like, fuck, do I even remember how to start a fire? You're like, I'm just going to watch. And so you're watching, you watch them for like 2 hours and you're like, they're not doing nothing. Now, oh, look they're having sex. Okay, whatever. You go back into your cave. You wake up the next day, you come out, you're all, fuck, man, this is going to take forever. Fast forward 1,000 years. Now they figured out what a wheel is. You're like,
it's like watching paint dry.
Shit. You're like, I'm going to be here forever. Fast forward to 10,000 years, and you're walking among them, and you're like, this place fucking blows. What do you guys do for fun? And they're like, we watch paint dry. It's like, you ever try cocaine? What? Let's figure out cocaine, people. Let's do something. You know what beer is? Like, let's figure that out. And like, you're going to have to go based off of the knowledge that you have in your head, and you're going to start forgetting shit after millions of years. You'll probably forget how to fucking speak English if you don't speak it regularly.
Yeah, and if you stutter, they're going to think that modern stuttering is like...
Yeah, like let's say you have a stutter or a lisp or something like that. Or you speak a completely different language, right? And then you're trying to go and talk to them. They're all... You're like, fuck, man, what the fuck? Now you got to learn a whole new language. And how, like, there's no way for you guys to communicate, so you'll just have to listen.
You have to point and...
They'll have different dialects. Like, what if they don't even have tongues? They have, like, these weird, like, fin things that help them communicate. You're, oh, god damn it. And you're just watching them for millions of years, day after day.
Hoping that this civilization dies soon so you can see.
And then you're like, oh, I put my bets on King that was going to win the race. And so now is winning, and that's pretty cool. And you're like, this fucking blowed. No, I wouldn't do it. Fuck no. And like, what if they advance way differently than us? And like, what if they get to a point where they can go underwater? And like, yeah, you're immortal, but now you have to go underwater and fucking find them. You know, you're, fuck. I don't know where I am. What is that thing? It's going to try to eat me. Like, no, it's I'm thinking about it too practically, and it just pisses me off, man. Like, I'd be watching them beat each other with sticks, and I'd be so annoyed. I'm like, oh, God, start a fire.
I think when you leave, I'm going to watch The Eternals.
Start a fucking fire, guys. Shit. I don't know how to start one anymore. They got rid of lighters. What's a lighter? I don't even remember. That was 2 million years ago.
That'll be a dope-ass book.
That would be a dope book, but fuck, man, I'd get so bored. Then they finally get to a point where they're comparable to us now, and you're just like, man, this blows. It's like going to another country, and you're like, this is cool, but I want to go home. You're like, this is home. Fuck, man, I can't kill myself because I'm immortal, and the genie died during the fucking mass extinction. I'm stuck like this. Now you gotta wait for them to invent another genie, and then you gotta like talk to them in its language. He's like, oh, you want to live for another 2 million years? No! Your wish is granted. No! Fuck! It's like, I wish for you to speak English. You'll be so happy to talk to somebody in English, you'll waste all your wishes. I wish for Megan Fox. I don't know what that is. Fuck! Beer. I don't know what that is. God damn it. So no, I wouldn't want to be immortal.
Okay, what if you had a time machine?
I would go to the... I would get crazy with it. Okay, if you had a time machine, you can only go to 3 spots. Forward or past. Where would you go?
I'll go to the... If they're the first civilization, I'll go to the first one.
Okay.
And then I'll go to the last one.
Okay.
And then just to throw a curveball in, I'll get my phone, go to Tesla's laboratory, and take pictures of everything.
Well, sucks for you, numbnuts, because that's a trick question. When you travel to the past, you were in a completely different part of space because space is always moving. And so now, when you travel 15 million years into the future again, you're still in a completely different part of space, and now you're lost in space forever.
You're thinking too practically.
Well, that's the thing that people don't consider with time travel. They think you're just going to come right at this spot in Earth 15 million years later.
Devin,
turns out you're not.
Stop
You're going to be floating in the fucking cosmos by yourself, fucking jerking your dick in space because you're bored.
You're thinking way too practically.
What
Shut up.
happens if you're immortal? You're alone jerking off in your cave to some weird cave painting you did because porn doesn't exist and you're not going to have sex with whatever the fuck those things are. Mm-hmm. And then one of them walks in and sees you. Do you stop? What if it's a bunch of gator people and they walk in and it's and you're all, do you stop? Do you invite it to join?
I shouldn't ask you that question.
What if you wake up one day and they're trying to fucking sacrifice you to their god?
Stop. Let's just end the... Damn it, it's been like 3.5 hours.
It's been like 3 hours.
It's been like 3 hours.
There's so much shit to consider that people don't consider.
And you're just thinking too practically with it. What would you do if you got a time machine? And you had
assuming that we didn't, get trapped in the part of space where the time machine is, like what would actually happen if there was a time machine, you would just get teleported 15 million years to that spot, which would be different from where the Earth is at that point in time. Assuming that we get to stay on Earth, I would probably go. I would go to the Younger Dryas period, or right before the end of the Younger Dryas period. I would go to the beginning of America, so like the 1700s, around that time period. Mm-hmm. And then I would go to the 50s, and then I would destroy the time machine.
Well, yeah, it's just gonna destroy itself.
Well, yeah, I would live out the rest of my life in
the 50s,
or like maybe the 20s.
Oh, you're gonna be bullied, not bullied. You're gonna be fucking tortured. You're gonna be beaten. You're gonna be.
I never said America. I could go to France.
There's still racism in France.
Not that much. Not towards Hispanics. Spanish people were part of like the leading forces for a long time, and then we got to America and got fucked. But like. Spaniards used to own slaves.
And you're proud of that?
I'm not proud of that. I'm just saying, like, I wouldn't be discriminated against,
Yes, you would. Especially when you look like that.
People actually used to be shorter back in the day, too.
No, I don't care. But what...
I don't know. There's so many places in history I'd like to go see. Like, I would love to go to the Renaissance times and be able to, like, meet Leonardo da Vinci and talk to his weird ass. I would love to go to London during the Industrial Revolution. I would love to go to ancient Sumer. I would love to go to when they were launching the first I would love to go to JFK's assassination and tell him, like, hey, yo, wear a helmet or something,
Duck. There's this one story I saw on TikTok that some guy was like, I had this time machine and I wanted to see if Jesus Christ existed.
Was that the one where Jesus looked at him and said, you're not supposed to be here?
No, yeah, you're not supposed to be here, but it's something different. So he goes back and he sees Jesus giving bread to all the people, and Jesus recognizes him and says, let's talk over here. And he's like, I know why you were here, why you came to see if I existed, but now that you know that I existed, what are you going to be doing with that information? That'll be dope. Like,
it would be dope. I mean, if I did meet the man himself, I'd be like, is it cool if I just stay here with you? And he'd be like, you know too much. Like, you have to go back. I'd be like, what am I supposed to do? Like, nobody believes in you over there. It's like, it's pretty bad. Everybody's worried about a thing. And they're like, I don't give a shit. Like, you have to go back. Like, what if you met Jesus and he was a total dude, bro? Or like he talked like you?
Don't talk about.
What if he talked
Devin,
like whoever he was talking to, so that he could communicate to them in a way they would understand?
No. Well,
you don't want that picture in your head, but like, what if he was talking to a frat boy and he was talking in frat boy terms to get him to understand him?
Well, in the story, he said, language is no barrier to us. So you could talk to him like the Gator people, and he'll understand you, and you'll
Be like,
understand him.
he's all, actually, it's, but I understand what you're saying. That'd be weird. I'd be like, dude, I just made that up. He's like, yeah, it's going to exist in 5 million years. You'll be around to see it, though. I'll be like, well, I can't even say that. I'd be so mad if that actually happened.
I'm telling you, don't disrespect him like that. He's going to come after you.
He's the OG.
But yeah. This is a fun episode.
It was a fun episode.
Probably our longest one.
Solo. You know, that reminds me of a scene that I saw from The Chosen, which is a Christianity show. And there's a scene with Jesus where all of his disciples were arguing amongst each other about him and his teachings and his following. And the entire time they were arguing over him and what they believed that he should do and what the right path was. The entire time he was taking care of sick people in a tent. And then he got through with the last one, didn't take a break all day. And then he walks by them as they're all arguing. And then he's all, good night. And then he went to bed. And that whole scene is so powerful. Like when I watched it, I cried. That's a really good show. If you're a Christian, watch that show. No, it's still a good show. But I realized I started getting like a weird attachment to the show because then I would see the guy who was playing Jesus and think that's how he looked. So that guy is just an amazing actor.
People, what was my point? Oh yeah, people were kind of bashing that show because near like season 7 or something, they started bringing more Mormon aspects into the show.
It's at season 7.
I don't know. I'm just throwing a season.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I stopped watching after season 2 because there was like a period before season 3 started, and I was like, "Fuck, man! Like, when's it gonna start?" And then I never watched it, and then I got a divorce, and then my life went to shit. And then an old lady crashed my car. And
I think you need to find Jesus again, man.
I don't know. I mean, if he comes a knocking, I'll like answer the door, but we can have a discussion. But if he tells me I gotta watch the fucking lizard people evolve, I'm gonna be pissed. I'm gonna be so fucking pissed.
And you're gonna have to do it?
I have no choice. It's not like I'm like, hey, can we negotiate this? He's just like, hey, in 5 million years, some weird lizard guy's gonna walk in on you doing something you probably shouldn't be doing. It's like a sin.
It's like a sin. It is
could be a sin. I don't know. Because they don't specifically talk about like masturbation. So like,
yeah,
it's kind of like a weird territory. I feel like that should have been clarified since we're very sex oriented. We're a very sex oriented species.
You are.
No, people are.
You are.
When was the last time you jerked off?
Yesterday.
Exactly.
At least it wasn't today.
So I can understand how you can look down on me from way up there, you know, with the day in between your last jerk
and also
off.
because I'm so much taller than you.
Thank you for listening to this episode. I'm sorry if this was your very first one. We're not usually like this.
Oh my god.
Or I guess we kind of are. This one took it out of me, man. And this wasn't even the conspiracy one I wanted to really do. We just branched off into everything else.
That was a good.
If you really want to do that timeline episode, I will dedicate like 2 weeks worth of time whenever I get it to write out a full timeline and then we can discuss.
You have a month.
A month maybe, because I put 6 hours of research into those shitty notes.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll give you a month. Put it in your calendar.
Oh fuck, man. After the next guest episode. No, wait, we're gonna have like 3 guests lined up. We have some guests coming, people. So stay tuned, I guess, if you care about that. Who's actually listening at this point? If you're here, thank you. I appreciate you being here. What the fuck are you doing with your time?
If you've got to this point, message me Bubbles.
Yeah. Oh, if you got to this point of the episode, message me or Eddie or the Instagram and just say Bubbles.
Yeah.
That way we know who the real fans are. And if you message us Bubbles, we'll do something. I don't know. We'll do a jig.
We're not gonna do it.
We can do a jig. How about if they message us with like a weird video request, like lick a spoon, then we'll like lick a spoon.
No, Devin, don't.
I don't know. I'm just throwing it
Bubbles.
out there. We'll see who actually gets here.
Just
There
Bubbles.
could be like 2 people who make it here.
Just Bubbles.
50 people join.
I'm gonna
only
go
2
end
get here. Thank you, everybody. We love you. We appreciate you. We're all gonna be dead soon. What would you do if you had to watch a civilization advance being an immortal? Let us know in the comments.